All right. Welcome. All right. Welcome back to another episode of Legion of Creators. This is episode 2. I'm your host, Jedi Joey. And so we got some new people to introduce on today's show. So we are here today with, of course, Retro Lad, who you saw last week. But we also
Hey,
have Gunch and Coyote. So I'm going to
how's it
introduce
going?
them, and then they're going to tell us a little bit about themselves, kind of what kind of content they create, and kind of favorite movies, all that stuff. So, should we start with you, my friend Gunge? You want to tell us about yourself?
Hi, I'm Gunchpot. I also go by Gunch, and I do a ton of different varietals of content creation. I do Dungeons and Dragons, tabletop RPG stuff, Sparking Zero, Overwatch, Marvel Rivals, general game creation content.
Well, welcome, Jennifer. Yeah, so that's really cool. So, where can we find you? Do you mostly stream on Twitch? Are you more YouTube? What kind of is your
Yeah, so I am Gunchpot on all platforms. So I am on Twitch,
perfect?
YouTube, and TikTok, where I live stream, and everything I upload to YouTube goes to TikTok as well.
Fantastic. Now, I will make sure that I put all the links in the chat when you guys introduce each other. That way, people can follow you, all that good stuff. So yeah, so like I said, like the introductory. So you introduced yourself. So you obviously are a gamer. So, is there any games that you're really looking forward to that are coming out pretty soon?
I'm really looking forward to South of Midnight is coming out very soon.
Okay,
Xbox game. It takes place in New Orleans, which I'm a big fan of New Orleans. I love the lore and the history, and so I'm excited to have a game set in that sort of mythos, and that should be cool. I'm excited for Doom, new Doom, always fun.
that should be fun.
Uh, I think that's pretty much like the two big ones, at least in the immediate. I mean, there's so many games coming out this year; it's kind of hard to keep track,
Yeah,
honestly.
welcome, Jake. Welcome, Beyond the Kai. All good friends of mine. Jennifer, wanted to give you guys a couple shout outs since you are my mods. Good to see you guys here. And Gunge, what would you say your favorite movie or genre is? Do you have a favorite movie you like or a genre that you kind of gravitate towards?
Yeah, I am definitely. I mean, I'm an action kid. I also my tattoo here is a film strip. I went to film school, and I actually am
Oh,
a
awesome.
scientist of multimedia. And I, I mean, yeah, I like movie. I'm a big movie guy. If I had to say a favorite or a top, at least as far as recency bias goes, I just watched Flow, which is an animated movie that came out in 2024. One of the most incredible animated movies I've ever seen.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I watched it. It's good.
That's good to
Yeah.
hear. Well, that's nice. I like to hear the vibe. And let's introduce Coyote. So, Coyote, tell us some things about you and what kind of content you create and what sort.
Well, and well, let's see. I'm from South Carolina. That's Leffy 8686, and I'm currently in the UK. Recently graduated. I'm a programmer, animator, artist. Most of my time is spent like with the entrepreneur of AI discovery and seeing how that could be integrated for better use. So if I'm like making projects or like making a new game, I would probably want to like infuse some sort of like self-existing technology from AI into it. But the thing about AI is that it's always evolving, and it's it's not there, but it's going to get there eventually. I do a lot of reading, do a lot of writing. I do a lot of writing for scripts, screenplay writing. Um, it's funny because as much as I'm not too fond of Joss Whedon, I actually am inspired by his character chemistry with a lot of things, such as like Firefly. Um, most things that he's done where it has a lot of involvement of characters, like mixing around and having that kind of chemistry and all of that. But yeah. Yeah.
Welcome back, Chris.
Yeah, there he is, Chris.
I was just introducing a little bit about Coyote and Gunge real quick. So our newest guest this week. So I'm gonna get some. Give me a second to put some links in the chat real quick. Let's get some follows up in here. All right, so I'm gonna get Gunge, and then I gotta put Coyote. How do we find you? Twitter, YouTube.
That's the thing. I'm actually. I don't actually have a Twitter. I do, but I kind of I haven't used it in like over a decade, and the reason being is because I just found it a distraction. So if anything, if I don't know, most people would, if they would have to get hold of me, it would either be through LinkedIn or it would either be through an email, so to speak.
Do you have a YouTube channel or anything or anything like that, or?
Yeah, I kind of do, but again, I haven't used that in a while either. I'm effectively part of what I would say is a game jam team, or with a crew. So I would work with them as much as me being my own thing. Okay. So, I mean, I guess I could give out my email. But yeah, surf's up.
Yeah, awesome. Well, give me 1 second. All right. Yeah, Jake, you're welcome to come up in a little bit when we have a spot for you. Sorry, guys, I'm just.
So I take it this is a full house right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is just we can have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we can have one more person technically.
Yeah.
I likely won't be sticking around for the entire thing either.
It's okay.
Yeah, same here.
To fill in.
Yeah.
Well, that just gives us an opportunity to get other people on, which is always nice.
Sure.
Yeah, we're just looking for basically other content creators so we can help each other build, talk about games, film, media, and stuff like that.
I'm just trying to get some links real quick for you guys so that I can give you guys some good exposure, and then we'll get in. If anyone has any topics they want to talk about, I'll be here in the middle of everything. So just let me know what you guys have, what you guys want to talk about. I know we talked about pre-show a lot about Marvel, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But I'd like to. I know Gunge is really into games, so I'd like to talk a little bit about games. So I guess I'll open this up a little bit. Gunge, what would you say is your probably most favorite recent game?
I mean, myself and everyone has been having fun with the Marvel Rivals.
We all play that together. We play that together.
Like it.
So,
But
That's
I mean,
a
right now I'm
collaborative
playing through
experience with
Hollow
us.
Knight. I'm playing through Hollow Knight for the first time, and that has been a crazy experience. I'm not like a big Metroidvania guy, but just the platforming is so tight, and the combat of it all feels so tight and so unique. Super unique experience. I love having unique indie experiences like that.
How do I spell your full channel, Gunge?
Gunchpot.
P-O.
Gunch, like what I am.
I could send you the link, Joe. Hang on a sec.
I got it right now. I'm already subscribed to him, so I should be able to get it real easily. I'm about to put his link in right now.
Thank you.
Of course. I'm here to help with all the good stuff. All right, so that's good for him.
And of course, Sparking Zero, because I'm a big Dragon Ball fan.
same
Who is your favorite? Would you have a favorite Dragon Ball character?
If I'm going mainstream, I gotta
Many.
say Trunks. Trunks is my guy, but
That's a good choice.
I mean, Papillon from the movie Wrath of the Dragon is very underrated, cool designed character.
Basically, Legend of Zelda.
Yeah,
Take
Basically
one.
Legend of Zelda.
fun things planned for the future. All right. Well, that's pretty cool then. Yeah, Dragon Ball is a very good thing to be into. All right. So that's good. I got that link. And then Tony, do I have one for you? Is there one that you're active on, or
What was that?
do you have a like? Is there a YouTube channel that you sometimes are active on, or?
I've been really busy. It's just that I generally am not as active as you would think I would be making content. It's just that with me, no, I'm more of a programmer, and I just don't know how you would probably find that, like, interesting, like live streaming programming. I used to do that a lot with friends, but it's just like most people, they're not going to want to like watch people code for like 12 hours straight, or like maybe 3 to 5 hours straight. It's just boring.
Yeah, I'd fall asleep.
Yeah. So it's like, where does like this is one of the reasons why most of my time is spent on GitHub with friends. So I just hang around there mostly, but it's not really that interesting.
I got Chris's link in there now, and then I got to get RetroLad's link in here. Get RetroLad.
Oh yeah, I started streaming again now. I started streaming for the first
Yeah, I know
time.
you've been gathering followers again. RetroLad. Is it just RetroLad, or is that the same way to find you?
Yeah.
RetroLad. Yeah, so I got Chris, I got RetroLad. So if you guys didn't follow them last week, make sure you follow them right now. So that way you're able to get a good focus on them. These are great content creators, guys. These are my usual team most of the week, but sometimes we change it up, sometimes we get new people. Okay. How many followers you got, RetroLad?
RetroLad.
Yeah. Oh, he's he muted his mic.
Mute.
Oh, he muted it.
I'm trying to see. No worries. He must have got busy for a second. Oh, I found it. Yeah, he's at 280. Okay, no worries. Let's get him in here then.
Yeah, I'm back. I was just drinking.
Oh,
something.
you're a Winter Soldier guy. All right. Or you like Thor/Doctor Strange's tanks? Nice. Good choices.
So,
I got RetroLad now, so that should be.
is everybody seen the trailers for the Marvel Rivals, like Fantastic
Yeah, we can
Four?
talk about that for a minute. I think Human Torch looks like he's going to be pretty tough if you're fighting against him. For sure. The way that he's taking out healers is crazy.
Yeah, I just uploaded my reactions actually to those trailers. They both look super fun.
I mean, it's crazy. We only have to wait like a couple more days till we can actually play as them, which is kind of crazy.
Right? They're pumping.
They're kind of moving through the seasons, isn't it?
I just waited for Blade, to be honest.
Oh, Blade will be nice when that comes out.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah.
I mean, as soon as Gambit and Nightcrawler drop, it's done. Because I'm not.
Xavier is also in the list as well.
Xavier's on, okay.
Yeah, Xavier. He's a support unit. It's actually hilarious.
What the hell is he going to do? He's on a wheelchair.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm going to play. I'll probably play.
That question for 50 years.
Yeah, he's in the yellow wheelchair. He's in the yellow hovering wheelchair. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that Beyond the Kai. I heard about Sub-Zero coming to Fortnite. I thought that was kind of crazy.
I think that's kind of too late, like 10 years too late. You'd think he was already in it already.
Right.
Yeah,
they had Street Fighter.
All types of characters in Fortnite, man.
I don't know. It's just like a really late pick, I would say. It's just
I guess
like,
it's
wow.
because of Mortal Kombat 2, the movie, innit? So that's probably why.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't Xavier rules.
They'll get to everything eventually.
Yeah.
I'm an Iron Man. So Jake says I'm an Iron Man, Magneto, or Invisible Woman main. Yeah, those are good choices, Jake. I'm really good with those characters.
First of all, there's a few things I need to mention, by the way. Apparently, the NetEase team have just been fired.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
the
just
North
got fired,
American
innit? Yeah, I
got
saw
laid
that on
off.
Twitter.
Should we talk,
I-
should we talk about that? Okay.
I couldn't believe it. I just didn't understand it. But now
Director's
they're
gone,
in.
everybody.
Yeah, the director's gone as well. So they're in rough
Yeah.
waters right now, and like no
It's a
one knows
cruel
exactly
industry.
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Repeat that.
It's a cruel industry. Video game layoffs have been tough the last couple of years.
Yeah, for real. For that last
Yeah.
5 years, man.
But this doesn't make any sense. I mean, you've
Yeah,
got
the
a
game's
nice,
booming.
decent player count. You've got like the Steam chart right there. It's got like people playing this game. You got these people that have left. Like these are the OG people that made this happen, right? Just remember that.
Yeah.
This is the equivalent of Jeff Kaplan leaving Overwatch, right?
It's kind
So
of
whoever's going to take over now, it's either going to be like Overwatch 2 or it's going to be the same or better. I say the same. It's either going to be much different and it's going to be for the better, or it's going to be like Overwatch 2 now and they just don't care.
Yeah. Honestly.
And the reason why I bring up Overwatch 2 is because they are desperate. I mean, that trailer that they brought out, what was it, with the loot boxes? They brought that back. Are you nuts? What the heck is going on here?
What's a W?
What's going on?
I just spent
You know?
4 hours playing Overwatch today, and it was a lot of fun. And they're making
You
good
still like
competition
Overwatch, yeah?
is good. Yeah, I love Overwatch. I mean, it's one of the games I put the most hours into in my life. So I
That's
got
cool.
a little bit of Stockholm syndrome with it. But they are desperate. And that's because competition breeds innovation. Like,
I agree,
if
yeah.
Marvel Rivals is doing well, Overwatch is going to be forced to step up for the first time in their 7-year lifespan. And so,
Sure, but
I think it's good.
I personally
have.
think they are very, very desperate right now. And they are very scared. And like you said,
And I don't
it
think
does.
that's a bad thing either, though. Desperation
well-
isn't necessarily a negative. It means that they need to try to do better. And so far, I mean, just day one of this new season
Yeah.
is pretty fun. It's pretty cool. I mean, I like the things that they're trying.
Yeah.
Would you say
My loot
that?
boxes. I love gambling.
Would you say that Rivals would actually have a much more higher advantage if they are working? Although, considering the team is gone now, so we don't even know what's happening. The current predicament is like, you know,
It's up in the air.
absolute.
Man.
Who knows what's going on over there? Yeah,
my
exactly.
opinion on Marvel Rivals from the beginning has kind of been they are on a countdown clock to becoming the next Overwatch 2. Like the honeymoon phase is going to
No.
end eventually. They're going to slip up
No.
eventually. Like something is
No.
going to happen.
Yeah.
And it seems like with these layoffs, they are speed running.
As long as they don't go out like Concord, I'm fine. Innit?
No.
You know what I mean?
I, oh my god!
That game,
No. The Concord is like a special. That is in a special place. I mean, it's not even. It's not even on the same shelf as where ET on the Atari is. This is in the lower depths of a special place, Concord. I mean, considering the fact that it was $400 million, yeah, you're not going to forget about that anytime soon. And I hope the CEO of Sony is going to remember that for the rest of his life, because I'm telling you right now, it's going to be. I mean, this is one of the reasons why they are trying to increase their prices for the was it the PlayStation Plus thing, and this is like
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
it's not going to work if people are going to be okay with it. They're not going to accept this crap forever. At some point they're just going to say, you know what, I'm just, you know, I'm done, you know, I'm absolutely done. I'm just probably going to get it.
It's kind of
gaming
silly
PC or something.
because I mean, like, just touching on it quickly, like, it looked better as a like for me, it looked like a story game. So I thought,
Yeah,
maybe this
Yeah.
could be like another Guardians of the Galaxy type of thing. So I thought, all right, cool, that's fine with me. But then they went with the line, so I was like, bro, this is not gonna. You had something, but then you just went completely the opposite way.
the turning point was when it basically turned into what can be described as another hero shooter. People would have been okay with that, but at the same time, you're talking about something that even what's his name, Cliffy B did. Cliffy B did that with Lawbreakers. That game didn't even last it lasted longer than Concord, let me tell you that much. But it was a slow death.
Lawbreakers.
It was really
That
slow.
name.
No, but at least with Cliffy B, he actually tried to, well, I say tried, but he did something kind of original where it was all gravity based and everything. But I just don't think the characters were that interesting. And, you know, Cliffy B, he's got quite a good history of designing good characters for the certain situations that they would be in story-wise. I mean, just look at Gears of War. He created that. And now he does, what was it? He did Lawbreakers, and then he did, was it Radical Heights, which was basically another, what was it? A battle royale game, okay? Because that's basically what it was back then in 2017. So, yeah, competition is good, dude, but at the same time, I would want more people, once again, to try and go up against Activision Blizzard, because I think they personally definitely deserve that kind of threat. NetEase was just one company. I don't understand why other people can't do it. And I'm talking about indie game developers. I'm pretty sure I could pull this off. I am familiar with Unreal 4 and Unreal 5. I've used it for quite a bit. And I'm not saying that I could probably make this game in maybe like a year by myself. I have friends that could probably do this, but they would have to be in the mood to do it. What I'm saying is that, like how Elon Musk put it, you know, we are the media now, and we pretty much have all of the tools.
I just dropped my link for anyone who's not following me currently, so just so you guys know, it's right there if you guys want following. Just so got that there. Anything, if you want to come up with us, we have a slot for you. Anything's another creator that we have on our show sometimes. He's a good guy. He's been working on his own anything here has been working on his own Marvel like rewrites of like different like Marvel storylines and stuff. We've been doing a lot of
that's cool,
which is pretty cool. We sometimes play Fortnite together. Sometimes he plays Rivals with us. He's a pretty good dude.
Yeah.
Let me send you a link. Put it here in the chat for you.
Yeah, so I know, Joey, I know you wanted to talk about what was it? Marvel today in terms of
up in the bottle of wine. If we're gonna talk about Brave New World, I'm gonna need to get a water. Just give me 1 sec.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna.
And I'll probably leave once we start talking about that, because I haven't seen the movie yet. I have no skin in the game.
It's
And even if I had seen it, I can guarantee my thoughts would probably be didn't care for it.
Yeah.
And that's probably about it. That's I just
all I'm gonna say is
indifferent.
All I can really say from me, without spoiling it, is there were some aspects that were really good of it, but at the same time, like I felt like the movie should have been at least 20 to 30 minutes longer from the way.
No, I was actually happy that it wasn't. I was happy that it was a very short movie.
What I'm saying, but Tony, I feel like some of the reshoots are a cause to this nonsense, bro.
Absolutely.
Thinking, like, hold on, like, why is
it?
Jake,
you can use the link if you want, bro.
Yeah.
Well, before we begin with Brave New World, I do want to make it very clear that it is very easy to make a video game now. I mean, you only need to like pick up something like Unity, and it's probably going to get even easier considering how robust AI is. But I just don't, when people bitch about like AAA games, and by the way, the fall of AAA is practically either here or it's going to be very, very soon. I mean, all of the things that I hear from like Phil Spencer, where he's got like the next gen Xbox coming out and everything like that, and I think to myself, well, okay, but on the other hand, you're planning to put all of your first party games on your competitor machine. I suppose the era of console wars are over. It's not like how it used to be with Nintendo and Sega. Yeah. It's like it's completely grayed out. And I get sick and tired of this crap where like Xbox is now trying to play it safe and everything because they got their ass handed to them by Sony 3 times now. with the exception of maybe the Xbox 360. But I think that's mainly because Sony knew that they had a slight act of hubris going on with the PlayStation 3. Xbox is now trying to do that again with their 2026 Xbox that's supposed to be coming out next year, and I don't know if that's going to make any difference here, because if they have the same architecture and the next gen PlayStation 6 is going to have the same tech as the next gen Xbox that's coming out in 2026, I don't exactly know why they would probably want to have a year head start, because it will just end up the same way. Unless they've got a bunch of exclusives that they've already got prepared. Yeah, this isn't 2005.
I think that the AAA bubble is probably going to pop soon. It's just because these games are too expensive to develop the way they're doing it.
Yeah.
But you're right. It is getting easier to make games, and that's good. But because it's not easy to have a creative vision and be imaginative and be able to. It is physically maybe easy to create something, but if the thing's not fun, if it's not a good idea, it doesn't matter. And that's where we're at right now with AAAs. Everything is a remake or corporate mumbo jumbo or a Concord or a hero shooter, or just trying to hop on a trend.
A Concord.
That's waiting on a couple more people, Melissa.
That's just not what art is. And I mean, I'm not gonna speak to. I mean, you mentioned AI a couple times. I'm not gonna speak to that. I'm gonna put myself in the anti-AI column, and I don't want to discuss.
What is it because of Black Ops 6 and the AI art that was exposed on there?
No, I have no clue what. I have no idea what that is. Sure. But it is just it's just one of those things where it requires people make things. People make art, and vision and 100%. A good idea is a good idea, and AI can't come up with.
Well, that's true. That's why there was the actor strike about the writers and so that other stuff, because it's bro,
this one's specifically art. But I'm going to have to be on the defensive side here, because a lot of people will state that AI is art in its own way. It's a new. Well, that's the thing. I'm telling you right now, there are so many people, and here's the thing.
That's okay. I agree with a lot of people. The number.
Oh, well, yeah, yeah. Obviously, naturally, but what they're saying is that they are artists through and through. Mm-hmm. That is basically. I mean, you can go on to DeviantArt is dead, right? Because they already fell to the dark side. Yeah. All right. So DeviantArt, they were the first ones to be tempted by AI art. They already went all in. Okay, with that. All of the chips were down right then. And this was 3 years ago when they decided to go down this road. ArtStation, they had a huge protest. I've got an account on there. They had a huge protest when a bunch of AI artists started making their rounds over there. And by the way, this isn't going to just stop with AI. I remember how this all began with AI art. I was there. Okay, I remember the very first artist I remember seeing being abused for AI art. Okay, it was what was his name? Sam Does Art. I used to see it everywhere, and this was in 2022. His art style was the very first to be trained through AI, and it was just used everywhere. And then eventually they started going down to Japanese artists, Japanese animators, and all of that. The bottom line is that whether you like it or not, it's done. Okay, they've got these models and they are improving them. The website is Civit AI. Okay, these people they love it. Okay, and a lot of people are just gonna say it as it is, and it's its own community, and it ain't going away. And when I started realizing just exactly how huge this was growing, it's like it's been around for over a decade. The amount of AI art I've seen, I think it probably now it probably now outnumbers traditional art. One thing I do not like is if they say that, yeah, I did that. I did that. I did the whole thing. That's what I did. No, you didn't. Okay, we can accept the fact that you are a prompt artist, but don't do that.
Yeah, man, don't
It's
say
just
you're
like
the real
just
thing when you don't say you're Da Vinci when you're not, bro. Like it's not
exactly. I mean, this
Well,
this
yeah,
is the reason.
It's the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's the same thing that I mean. You like you
Welcome,
had mentioned
Melissa.
like if you sat
Hey,
down and dedicated
Bonsai.
yourself to it, you could
Going
I'm
on?
make a
sorry.
game, but you're not Blizzard. Like you're not like you're not
You're good,
Activision
Melissa.
Blizzard. You're a guy on the internet, and like that's
Mhm.
the same thing as you made a thing using other people's art. You're not a fucking artist. Like
here's the thing, though. Did you hear about that one guy that basically tried to trademark one of his art pieces? It's that one with that weird freaking glowing circle thing, and it's a freaking. It looks pretty grand, okay, but it was done by AI, okay. The thing is that a lot of people have already made up their minds, okay, whether you want to like it or not. They think that they are artists, not AI artists. That's a big problem. A lot of people would call these people prompt engineers or prompt artists. That's the right description for what these people are when they actually do things like this, when they actually use AI in this particular term. Now, the term itself is still like in the Wild West because a lot of people
We're
are going,
gonna
"Oh my
keep it
God,
open
is that
for now, more.
deep fake?" Right?
Jennifer, we're gonna keep it open for now. It's okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what'd you say, Joe?
Oh, I was talking to Jennifer in the chat.
Oh, okay. And like I said, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure of the amount of people that you could let on.
Oh, I have the slots up to 6. We're still waiting for more people, but they must be running late.
Okay,
Yeah.
and
Which
like
one?
I said,
I thought you said that they were.
anytime you need me to leave, I'll be happy to.
Okay,
I'll be
no
happy.
worries. Yeah, no, we're good for now. Retrolad, what time did you say the other two were coming in? Because you said they were going to be here on 6 right now, so I didn't know what's going on with that.
I don't know if I don't know if Retrolad is still there.
He's in the chat.
He's in the chat though. I see him.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Coyote, what you said though about AI, I do agree. You know, with what you said.
I don't disagree that it's here. Obviously, it's here, and corporations are loving it. They're loving the getting free labor and not having to pay people for creating things. Like
they're
it makes sense to go all in on AI because it is literally the most logical thing from a business perspective.
Yeah.
But it is not helping we're in like late stage capitalism, like we're heading into a utopia allegations of like, or a dystopia allegations where like you never know what you're seeing is real. Or if it was just like made up by a prompt or by a computer that's designed to make prompts or like whatever. It's just like everything surrounding it to me is very scummy and weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is 100%. This is why the strike happened in the first place.
Yeah.
Because they wanted AI to take over everything, and that was just not. Yeah, that was just not.
I don't think. I think we. Sorry, we're going.
I mean, we were talking about Marvel before. Like, if we let AI take over Marvel, these things are going to be even worse than they already are. Like, it's only going to get worse.
Let me put the chips on the table right here. What makes you think it hasn't already begun yet? Did you see the Coca-Cola commercial on Christmas?
The Christmas.
I mean, that's just the beginning. They're already using it. Okay, it's only a matter of time until you actually don't realize that it's AI. And look, the human eye can it can recognize fakeness really well. You know, I mean, that's one of our human instincts. We can recognize how fake things really are just by how things sound. I mean, you got Suno making music now. You could be like a music artist. You could be a rock star, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, when literally everything is fake, it'll be impossible to tell the difference.
Yeah, better tell the difference. Yeah, honestly, it's true.
Exactly, Retro Lad. Yeah. Exactly.
Yep. Hey, Jay, what's going on, my friend? Yeah, no, I hear you.
Pretty soon we'll be living in a world where we won't be able to tell anymore what's real and what's not.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I forgot your name, ma'am. What's your name?
Melissa. My name is Melissa.
All right, it's a pleasure meeting you.
What? Nice to meet you too. Listen, I'm a huge fan of you guys. So
that's great. That's awesome.
And Joe's like one of my best friends. So
yeah,
that's great.
She knows me very well. Yeah, oh, that's cool. Yeah,
but I agree, Melissa. The writer's strike did have a part to play, but it was also down to increased pay due to the streaming services that were taking over as well. And I don't think that really matters now because, quite frankly, a lot of the streaming services are dying. Was it like Netflix has now decided to become like a sports streaming thing? I mean, just look at Tyson versus Logan Paul. And that's just the beginning, by the way. I think it's going to,
Yeah, I have a feeling that when Stranger Things go, that Netflix is gonna, like, you know how Cobra Kai's been talking about spinoffs and they're just waiting for the green light. I have a feeling that they're gonna green light Cobra Kai spinoffs.
Well, they're just going to do anything that makes money. They're going to do anything that makes money.
Yeah. Honestly.
Although I did realize, I did read today that apparently, because of the lack of marketing, the final episodes of Cobra Kai actually underperformed because of the fact that Netflix didn't market them properly.
I personally don't think Netflix cares at the moment. I think they're after bigger fish. I think they want things like more boxing, more fighting, anything that like gets the numbers up. I mean, they could even handle the streaming service itself. It completely crashed. It was an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, even like when Stranger Things goes, like they're gonna realize. That's what I'm saying. It's like everybody's like, oh, what if they don't greenlight it? And it's like, I have a feeling that they will, because when I have a feeling that
they're gonna need shows because they can't have these big events. If they keep having them crash out like that, they're gonna lose all of their money.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's why I think that they are gonna get greenlit for spinoffs.
Yeah.
Stranger Things and Cobra Kai.
Well, spin-offs would be a safer option, but I personally don't think that's the reason why they are removing a lot of the old shows like Seinfeld off Netflix. And a lot of people have noticed this as well. I don't know if this was true, but I think they also were experimenting with having ads, regardless if you're a premium user on Netflix as well. I can't remember if it was them or someone else, but I think that would have been the last straw anyway.
Disney Plus, I think.
Yeah.
It was Disney Plus.
They started that big time, bro.
My God. Yeah, well, it's only a matter of time until Netflix does it as well then.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, from what I heard, like, speaking of Disney Plus, and not to cut nobody off, I heard like a rumor, like on Google or something, that like says it was like in regards to like Disney Plus, and I'm like, it was basically saying like, oh, the numbers in terms of like viewers, like those that are subscribed to Disney Plus, like those types of numbers, they're starting to decline now, and that was like the rumor on Google, and I'm like, if that's true, like if that rumor itself is 100% true, then it looks like Netflix, for example, won't be the only streaming service that could be in jeopardy. Like, Disney Plus could be in jeopardy too.
I can believe that. They lost about 700,000.
They did that to themselves because that decline, I can confirm this from my sources, they lost 700,000 subscribers.
That's correct.
When the Acolyte ended. That was when they lost their subscribers.
Yeah.
When whatever fuckhead said, hey, we're going to greenlight this show,
it was Leslie Headland.
That's when that show ended. When that show finished, that was when people said, "Nope, we're not doing this."
I think you know when it first happened. I don't think it was as much as 7K, but it was close to that. Now it's the full number.
Yep, it's the full number.
I think they had to do that because they had to answer to the investors, and they couldn't hide it at all. So
awesome,
and I don't know. I do believe. I don't know. Like, if the rumor is true, which most likely it is, then like I stated like a few seconds ago, that Netflix cannot be the only streaming service that could be in jeopardy.
Oh, there's a lot.
There's also a high chance that
you got Paramount Plus as well. Yeah.
But
that's not good.
White House Vision makes a good point. Jurassic World.
AJ was saying about that.
So, like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not. Everybody's worried about Cobra Kai spinoffs, Stranger Things spinoffs. I'm not, because I have a feeling that they're going to happen.
Beyond the Kai, so I can answer this for you. Those shows are leaving because all DC properties are just going straight to Max now. They're taking all ownership of their projects and saying, "Yep, nope, you're only going to put it on Max." That's where all the streaming stuff is coming from.
Oh, the DC stuff. Okay.
Yeah, that's why those stuff are being removed beyond the
Yes, it
Kai,
makes sense.
because
Yeah.
they moved Arrow and Supergirl over to Max. That's
Okay.
what they did. All right, so
Probably moving
Retrolad
Black
wants to
Lightning
know.
times and that soon as well. So.
Retrolad wants to know what everyone's thoughts are on the Switch 2.
Oh, so shoot.
Well,
Looks like
I'm
a
excited.
Switch.
Well, first of-
I'm
Nintendo.
okay. Well, who wants to start first?
I'll go
I
first.
think we
'cause
should
then
let
I'm gonna
Gunn
leave,
take this
probably.
one. He's our gaming expert, so we'll
I'm
let
the
him go
gaming
first.
guy. No, Switch 2 looks cool. There's a couple things regarding it that like have me thinking, at least, where it's like, okay, we got good games. Nintendo makes good games, fun games.
Yeah.
Great. Switch
Yeah, of
2,
course.
great. They needed a hardware boost. I mean, the Switch is like 17 years
Absolutely.
behind all
Yeah,
the
for
current gen
sure.
consoles.
Jesus Christ.
Do I want to pay $500 and like plus dollars for it with the stuff going on with all the things? I'm not gonna get into too many details, but like,
Yeah.
do we want to do that? I don't know if I
Yeah.
want to pay $400, $450, $500, $600 for a Switch.
Yeah.
So it just depends. It depends on what that cost is gonna be and what I as
Yeah,
an American have
true.
to pay for it.
I hear it. 'Cause, I mean, with Nintendo in general, though, I do feel like with them, they normally come up with good prices. But I guess because of the climax, the things might have to increase in it, you know, just because maybe the
Yeah,
hardware's a lot
just
better and
between
things
chip
like
production,
that. So,
like we're already in the chip
Yeah.
shortage, and
yeah, so
When the Nintendo Switch was released, it had the Tegra hybrid. I think it had like a Tegra X chip that was inside of it. That was, I mean, it was out of date the moment they actually built the machine. I mean,
Yeah,
you're talking about Nintendo. They've never historically ever had superior hardware. I mean, even from like the beginning of when they actually even began building the Nintendo. With the Switch 2, I believe this is a totally different ball game, and it's not like how it was with the Nintendo 64 when they think they had an answer to, like, you know, the PlayStation, and they said, "Oh well, you got a 32-bit machine, but we got a 64-bit." You know, that was like the bit wars. Those days are over. This is totally different what they're doing here with the Switch 2. From what I've seen with the specs, it's got an LDDR X5, if I'm not mistaken, which is the equivalent. It's Nintendo's NVIDIA GPU equivalent to the 3050. So it's pretty powerful. And from what I've seen, at least through the benchmarks, it is twice the power of a Steam Deck, and it's twice the power of the PlayStation 4. It's twice as powerful as a PS4. It's right behind maybe a PS4 Pro and maybe an Xbox Series S, but it's more powerful than the Steam Deck. Way more powerful.
It could not be the most powerful console Nintendo has ever released. If they promised that they were gonna fix their fucking netcode, I'd pay $500 for it. Like if the online works on this thing, it will actually be a miracle.
I think they are specifically trying to make sure that the hardware is better, and there's a reason for that. Because when they saw what Gabe Newell's Steam Deck was able to do and emulate games on the Steam Deck, they weren't going to take that lying down, especially when Breath of the Wild was running at 60 frames per second. They wanted to make it very clear that this was more powerful than the Steam Deck. This had nothing to do with Sony or Xbox. They were scared of Gabe Newell's Steam Deck, you know? So they basically made it clear that, yeah, this is more powerful. You know what Gabe Newell's going to do? He's just basically going to make a much more powerful Steam Deck. I believe the real battle is with Gabe Newell and Nintendo. It's not with Sony, and because they want that portable. They want to win the portable war. Yeah. It's a portable gaming war now. It's not about consoles now. Okay, that was like Sony. This is totally different. This is a totally different battle, and I think this is only just the beginning. Because the moment I start hearing Gabe Newell, he's already talking about it. He's like, I'm already working on a new Steam Deck.
with the
Yeah, he's
controllers.
already working on it. He's got the. Did you hear about the operating system that he also worked on as well? That I believe there's an operating system that I believe people can now have access to. I mean, it's Linux based, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I hate to. I mean, think about it. I mean, the timing is just impeccable. When you think about it, it's like, why is it here? Because Windows 10 is about to shut down.
I'm
just
100% in
Windows
on
10 is
Steam
about to
making
shut
a new
down.
OS and just the handheld wars, not the console wars anymore. The handheld wars. But
yeah.
I'm gonna go on that. Thank you, everybody, so much for having me. I love you all.
Oh, you got to leave? All right, no worries.
All
All right. Yeah.
But thank you for
It's
having
been
me
great.
on the show. We'll get somebody else in here.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Hey, thanks for being here,
Take
man. I
care.
appreciate it. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you guys.
Definitely.
Take
See you
care.
lunch.
Absolutely.
Catch up.
So,
All right.
so
Well, now that our resident gaming person has left, I guess it's time between me, anything, Coyote, and Chris to rip the Band-Aid off.
What's that? Captain America?
Yeah.
Oh my
we're ready,
God, here
we're
we
ready
go.
To break up, we're ready to
But
break up
before-
the fields and,
Yeah, Joe. I think Melissa wanted to say something though.
oh, you wanted to say something, Wilson? Sorry, I didn't know you were speaking.
well, first of all, I wanted to say, like, I think what you guys were saying about the new console, I haven't really heard of it, but from what you guys have been saying, it sounds like it could be pretty true.
Yeah.
And
I
I also
mean-
thought, like, too, like, and this is just my question. Oh, hi, Jake. And this
Yeah,
is
Jake
just
wanted
my
to come
question.
What's up?
After Stranger
Oh, how you
Things
doing, Jake?
does go,
What's up, Jake?
after Stranger Things does go, what are the from Netflix? What are the chances that Cobra Kai and Stranger Things do get spinoffs on
Well,
Netflix?
I feel like that's a good question. I think the idea when it comes to spinoffs is the nice thing about starting spinoffs is Netflix is going to look at the business proposal of it and go,
Yeah.
okay, how much money can we make on branding these things? And so, because one of the things I think they're going to realize is once Stranger Things is done, they're done because they have nothing. Like,
You think? I don't know. I wouldn't call them out, not just yet. I mean, they have a
But
plan, like I said.
I mean, but if you look at their numbers, if you look at like what they focus on, they like I said, if you look at the numbers, it's great they did that big fight event between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, but it was a disaster.
It was a disaster, but it was
Yeah, it was.
successful. That's the thing. It had huge
Yeah,
numbers.
successful, it was a
The
disaster.
bandwidth was out of control and everything.
Yeah, honestly.
Just because they made so much money just on
The
people
bandwidth,
popping in and out of an event. You would
So
think they would
basically,
lose money off
yeah.
that.
So basically, what you're saying, Joe, is that spinoffs could be looking pretty good.
I mean, I just think here's my personal opinion. We haven't really dived into this.
Yeah.
If I don't know what their contract is. If I was the big three right now for the Cobra Kai creatives,
Mhm.
I would take my scripts and I would take whatever my contract with Netflix was, and I would rip that shit up and say, we're not working with you guys anymore.
You
We're just
can't
gonna
do
work with someone else.
that. You can't just rip up a contract. They could just sue them. They'll take them.
yeah,
they'll
well,
just-
And
whatever
think of
they
it as
did,
too.
like-
Also think of it as too. They wanted a season 7. From
Yeah.
Netflix is just going to force them to make more success, and they don't care if they're making cash grabs as long
Yeah.
as they make money. So
Right.
because they're working on the business side of it. So if I was the creatives, because we want the creatives to stay true to what they want, and we don't want people just to have spinoffs just for the sake of spinoffs. You have to make sure you have good stories to tell.
right,
So,
which we all
to
know that
me-
they do.
To me, the way I look at things is, I would say, as a company, if we do spinoffs, I think whatever, hopefully with the contract for Cobra Kai, that their deal with Netflix ended, so it becomes the deal of like, do we continue with them or do we move to another stream?
Sure,
If I was
yeah,
there,
yeah.
I would look at the contract and say, okay, it says we don't have to continue to do this. We have to sign a new contract with a new company. Leave Netflix, go and do with an actual company that will actually promote things. Like for me personally, I would go to Amazon Prime because Amazon Prime actually knows to promote their shows. They actually know how to.
Yeah,
give
I mean,
people-
have I got it right that Wednesday is property of Amazon because they own MGM, but
Yep.
Wednesday is in the hands of Netflix. That
Yep.
could change at any time, but they have like a limited like a limited license with Wednesday. Jenna Ortega's character. So
Yeah.
it's like I you see, the thing is, I personally think that with spin-offs, they can work, but it comes down to what the CEO of Netflix wants as well, because it's not like the 90s, okay, when like the CEO would just back off and then just say, you know what, I'm gonna just take a gamble with this guy and just give him a couple of $1 billion. You see, back in the 90s, when it came down to episodes for like a new TV show, they would probably say, yeah, we're going to give you 3 episodes, and if it does well, we'll give you a few more. That's how it used to be back then with TV shows. And this is why they basically used to give a crap. Now it's like, okay, I want like 200 million for a TV show that would have about maybe 8 episodes. You see it all the time. I mean, Acolyte is a perfect example of that. Now, if it's any different with something like Cobra Kai, I would say that it's more trusted because it's a much more successful show. But if it's
the way I see the way I see it on this matter is, to me, Netflix as a streaming service has proven to me that they're not capable of like caring about their products and actually prioritizing what people need to see. So like, if you're gonna
that is
like
correct.
they made a deal, and whatever the deal is, if they wanted to get good series, then they've canceled way too many things that would make them money. So it's time to look at our contract and hightail and run and move to the next thing. If you want
the reason why they're canceling everything, by the way, is that they don't care about the old shows like Seinfeld. They don't care about all of these old shows. They don't care. Friends was a big deal, by the way. When they got rid of that, that's probably why there was like a lot of noticing, cancellations of subscriptions. But the real truth is that
look at what they did with the continuation of that 70s show. That 90s show got 2 seasons, and they're supposed to continue it, and then they chose not to continue it.
Yeah. So you think that do you think that they could have also have something else lined up lined up for when they want to do these spin-offs and prequels?
Well, they said they had plans, and I'm going to do a video about it tonight.
What's a backup plan?
Well, the way that I see, like, if they're going to pursue the idea of spin-offs, they need to make sure, one, they have a good idea when they go to the table with it. Because that's the thing I think that I really like about certain writers, like, as we were talking about earlier before the stream started, Marvel, right? These people that they're hiring are just handing in scripts, but they have no good idea. Like, I'm actually genuinely like, and we'll talk about this in a minute when we get to talk about Marvel. One of the things that genuinely makes me excited about Daredevil next month is that every time that there's a script for Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox are there spin kicking that script out of someone's hands the second that they see something they don't like.
Yeah,
that's great. That's very good.
Like, they're the actors, isn't it? Like, and they care about the show themselves. So you see, when you have actors who care about a particular show,
that's the thing too with Stranger Things and Cobra Kai and Marvel and Daredevil. All of these actors and actresses, they care about their characters. They care about the show. How many times has Mary gone on and said, I would gladly play Samantha again?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it makes sense. Oh, you want something to say, Jake?
Yeah, I just want to say and the reason why they set the Stranger Things budget so high is because it takes them so long to do the visual effects.
Yeah,
because you gotta understand when it comes to Stranger Things, you gotta make the visuals look good.
Like, how much money? Like, that's the crazy thing is, like, they spend so much money on Stranger Things, if they like, honestly, it sucks to think this way, but out of any show, if they're gonna greenlight any show, they're gonna greenlight whatever's next for Stranger Things before they greenlight whatever's next for Cobra Kai.
I don't know about that though.
That's because they're gonna know that they're gonna get their money that they want.
Oh
which
wait,
is what's
wait,
ridiculous.
what would you say, Joe? They're gonna greenlit what first?
They would rather greenlit spin-offs for Stranger Things than they would Cobra Kai because they treat Stranger Things like their baby. And if Stranger Things is going to keep, so say Stranger Things season 5 comes out, and all the numbers for all the episodes are just blowing everything out of this water.
Yeah, but that depends. There are a few things that have to be kept in place here. The OG actors have to come back. If they bring in new actors, then you've got like a bit of a crisis on your hands, because unless the people are invested in these new actors, it's going to be hard for them, you know. And you know,
I didn't mean to put that up on the screen to fix that. Sorry.
I got rid of him. I got rid of
You
him,
did?
Jake. I got rid of him, Jake.
Oh, it's so
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I
I
totally agree. Like, for example, if they do like if they were to like for example, if they were to do like a spin-off of Cobra Kai with one of with one of the legacy characters.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, I'm like, sure, I don't know much about Cobra Kai, but then again, I wouldn't really mind it. However, with me, I'm gonna go, okay. I'm like, okay, if you are gonna 100% do it, the story has to be good. Things have to make sense for the story. Like, say if you have the first season, the first season has to be good. Otherwise, people are not going to be invested. Fans are not going to be invested in the spinoff.
Believe it or not,
everything's not good.
Believe it or not, the first season of Cobra Kai was the best.
It was very successful.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
It was.
Yeah, so I like, and here's why I think the part of the reason why spin-offs and prequels are a guarantee, because of the big three. They've proven
when you have good writers,
they've proven that that this universe, this Miyagi-verse, is in safe hands.
Yeah.
So that's why I think like all those people who are saying that we're worried we might not get spin-offs and prequels. Listen, we like the big three are pretty sure that we're gonna get them. So I have a feeling
we're living in a world right now, not to cut anyone off, where when you have good creatives and you have people that are really invested in what they're doing, what's really sad is I've seen things where they could totally like make really good stuff as long as there's more story to tell and as long as there's really good things. But the really sad thing is there are great shows that not even spin-off, but there are great shows that don't get to finish their story because companies, they jump from one company to another and they don't profit anything.
Joe, you need to look at the atmosphere right now with a lot of people, a lot of billionaires. I'll give you a perfect example, one that I actually just read about. Some rich family did, what was it called? It was like a kid. It was like worth about 10. The father like invested about 10 million and only got about $600,000 back or something like that. What was it? It was like some kind of Nickelodeon kids show movie thing that happened, but it was a complete disaster because the father didn't know what he was doing. And they like sat down with him and they were asking him, okay, so do you know what you're doing? Because this is a lot of money. You just like spent, like you wasted like $10 million. And, you know, the director, by the way, must have been like the happiest guy in the world, right? The reason why I'm bringing this up, by the way, is that when you have like billionaires, just like random billionaires thinking that they can be the next director, and they're hacks, okay? You've got to deal with that on top of all of the other slop that's in Netflix right now. Because they're basically the same thing, okay? If there's like a filter to basically say that these are, you know, like random hacks and, you know, they don't actually have like a typical IMDb, and although they do, but it's like, it's not a good resume, you know, of like movies that are like great now. I mean, you effectively have got like a big problem, a cesspool of movies that, quite frankly, are made by billionaires, billionaire hacks, rich people who basically do things that they don't know what they're doing. You know, it's like they don't know what they're thinking when they make these movies. You know, so I mean,
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to
Yeah.
open that can of worms. Oh, Jake, you want to say something? Go ahead.
I just want to say something. Since Kylie was talking about hacks, we were talking about Netflix. I found out something really big. That happens in the finale of Stranger Things.
Yeah, that's the problem with everything is with these big corporations. Everything is leaked before the final show even comes out now.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
what in the world are
Yeah,
we
like
doing?
I don't know if this
or
leak
done
is,
intentionally.
I don't know if this leak is true, but oh my gosh, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, if this leak is true, we're in for a hell of a finale. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I'm sure he's excited about it. Yeah, that's
Oh
good.
my gosh.
It's good to be excited about things. It's
Bro.
good.
Yeah.
No, but it's like we was talking about leaks earlier, Joe, like with the Cobra Kai leaks and stuff like that. Like, if this was like, I'm telling you, like this internet generation of leaks and spoilers and stuff, like, if this was like a good 10, 15 years ago, it wouldn't be as nothing compared to what it is now. Like, now everything just gets exposed so easy.
Yeah, but everything gets leaked. I mean, video games get leaked. Look at The Last of Us Part 2. That got leaked.
Oh, yeah,
And it was like a...
I'm glad you like that Beyond the Kai.
It was a disaster,
Don't remind
to
me.
be honest with you.
Don't remind me of
Yeah.
that shit. Don't
I
remind
mean,
me.
I mean,
not
that
to
was
bring up
probably
The
one of
Last
the
of Us
biggest
into
leaks.
this,
Yeah.
like not to bring up The Last of Us into this, but when the leaks for The Last of Us Part 2 game came out, that was a big ass disaster. And the reason I say that is because when those leaks did come out, a lot of people they weren't happy.
They made up their mind. They made up
They
their
made
mind
up their mind
immediately.
because
Yeah,
you're right.
I
They made up their mind because they knew what was
I'm
going to
one of them.
happen, and that was terrible.
The moment,
You don't
the
just
moment-
do that.
The moment
Yeah.
that they
Jake, what do you want to
say,
say?
what?
What do you want to say?
I was just gonna say, the moment that they say in the leaks, I'm not gonna say what because I'm not gonna be detailed because in case people want to watch the show. And the moment that they tease that a certain character dies in part 2, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is that when you compare that to the trailer, it makes it really look bad on Neil.
It completely foreshadows everything.
You remember Joe was supposed to be alive. Neil lied about that. That's the whole point. So
Yeah,
most
like,
people
the
weren't too sure.
The trailers made us think one way, but the game went another way.
And Sony's been doing that for the longest time ever. I mean, you only need to look at Killzone 2.
Because the trailers kind of made us think that Ellie's love interest, Dina, is the one who dies. But then the game comes out and we find out that Joel's the one who dies.
Well, there was a lot of hints from the very first trailer, which everybody was happy about, by the way. Everyone was excited about. You know, the one where she has the guitar and everything, and you see Joel mysteriously enter in through the mist. And then people were thinking, is she talking to herself? What's going on here? Is Joel dead? What's going on? And then Neil, the moron that he is, basically goes, guys, please, you don't need to worry. He's not dead. He's not going to die. And then, you know, he lied. You know, all for the sake of money. This is the same asshole who basically got, like, what was it, 7 awards? In 2020, the Game Awards? Which, by the way, studying Craig, by the way, was right, by the way. I mean, the whole damn thing is rigged. So, you know, Jeff O'Keefe, he needs to like step up his game now and just like pick a side. Are you still with the corporations, Jeff, or are you like gonna like decide to like?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, well, this is the thing.
Yeah,
He's
I
been
hear
doing
what
it for the
you're
longest
saying.
time.
I hear what you're saying, Coyote. You know, they will lie. I mean, thankfully we got. I mean, they will lie. That they have no shame in that because it's what gives them the attention and the money. And
Speaking of lying to kind of prevent spoilers, Remember the No Way Home situation where Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire kept denying that they were in No Way Home?
Right, I know.
That's
clearly.
like the greatest.
But
Well,
you see, even with that, like Marvel should have
Yeah.
never released that to the public at all.
well, you're talking about the trailer where you literally see the lizard man. He gets punched
they
in the
shouldn't-
face.
They shouldn't have said nothing. They should have denied everything, saying no, they're not in it.
A lizard man was even in it.
Well, you know what they should have done from the get-go? The person I think that is so funny that this even happened. The moment the cat was out of the bag was when they announced that that Jamie Foxx was going to be Electro in that movie. And you guys remember when he put out that big poster that had all three of the Spider-Man on it? Put it on his Instagram?
Yeah, but Joe, I think the jig was up by that point. I think people already figured it out at that point. It's,
But I mean, if you
yeah.
post
When you're
something like
getting
that on social
villains.
media before they're even like really promoting the movie, you should
Yeah.
be inspired by that
Joe,
point on.
Joe,
Like,
Joe, remember when John Campea had an image of all three Spider-Man together, and then he got in trouble for that?
dude, the fact that he had
I
his
don't know about that.
watermark and he didn't get his channel shut down, I think is wild.
I had
Man,
no
he
idea.
couldn't
about
wait, couldn't he? He just had to take a picture and say, "Yeah, they're here, guys," and then just put it.
Well, you know, this is the thing. I mean, No Way Home, when you look at it, at least now, it's no different than a Tonight with Jane Leno and the three Spider-Man. That's basically what it was. But look, I get it. The hype was there. People did watch it. I did watch it. But, at the end of the day, yeah, but like now when you look at it, it was like Tonight with the Spider-Man show. It was just basically a reunion. That's all it was. I mean, even Tom Holland was out of character when he was like, what is the weirdest monster you've ever fought? Well, I fought a black goo, it was a black alien goo, and I was part of the Avengers and all that. It's just basically, it was a bunch of fun. It was fun, it was fun. But, at the end of the day, did anyone even give a crap about the freaking plot? It was just like, oh my God, it's just like Tommy Maguire. It's great.
I think my issue still stands with No Way Home. That I felt like that the villains that were in it.
There were too many.
The other two.
It should have just been Willem Dafoe and Dr. Octopus. That's it.
Yeah, pretty.
Yeah, I agree. There were way too many villains, but I also know when Aunt May said something similar to Peter that Uncle Ben said, that was great power, great responsibility.
I did not see that coming.
Oh God! And you know what's going to happen after that?
Yeah.
I didn't think
I was so devastated when she died.
I wasn't upset with that too much because that's what happened in the Spider-Man game that happened in 2018. Like, obviously, if anyone's played that, that's what happens to Aunt May and that. And I think that was more emotional for me than it was in No Way Home. Was still emotional.
I just don't know how do you write this movie and you write a movie where the whole idea is Peter's identity being out there, right?
Yeah.
And you're filming all these cameras, you're setting up all this stuff in this story. I get you want to be about the three Spider-Man, but if you're going to have basically nearly enough people to be almost a Sinister Six, and granted, this is before the Doctor Strange spell is happening, and all this stuff is happening in New York, why the fuck didn't Daredevil go in and just start helping out?
Point. That's a good point.
They're all in New York. There's Daredevil not seeing the Empire State Building being attacked and go, maybe I should go help out three Spider-Man. That just kind of makes me wonder, what were you thinking? You're meant to be a hero of
that's what
New York.
I'm saying. That's the thing, with Daredevil as well. It's like, when you look at Daredevil compared to Spider-Man, Spider-Man's an Avenger threat level type of hero, whereas Daredevil at the time wasn't. He was a defender. But it still kind of rings along the bell. It's it's New York. They're both from New York, so you wouldn't make it make sense.
You know what's funny? Spider-Man technically was a defender as well, at least in the comics I read.
Yeah,
him, Namor, and Hawkeye, they were defenders. But Spider-Man, he's let's face it, he's like the face of Marvel. This is the reason why Kevin Feige, he's kissing the shoes of Sony right now. He wants Spider-Man so badly, and Sony ain't gonna give it to him.
Yeah.
I mean, don't even get me started with
I
Craven.
personally think
I mean,
they
canceled their entire universe already.
They
So
need-
I mean, if they canceled their entire Spider-Man universe, I mean, I don't know why they think they're gonna get
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
because of
when-
Craven.
Oh, no,
It was
you know what I'm
horrible.
saying? Craven, Craven. You know, it was.
Oh,
Craven
by the
wasn't
way,
worst.
speaking of the Craven movie, and not to cut nobody off here, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I did go watch that movie in the cinema, like in the theaters,
Yeah.
and there was don't get me wrong, there were some okay parts about the film. Like the film did have
Okay.
some interesting ideas, like it did have some interesting concepts. But here's the problem with Sony, because Sony was so involved within that movie. Like none of those good concepts, like all the good concepts that were in like Craven the Hunter, they weren't executed properly because Disney, well not Disney, Sony,
Sony.
like Sony
It's
had
trying
a
to
hand
act
to
like
play in the
Disney.
movie. The movie, as we know, it sucked, and
Well,
I was a
that
little
and the fact
disappointed.
that-
But
yeah.
however, there was some interesting parts of the movie.
Yeah.
But I knew full well it was all Sony because Sony has a history of doing stuff like this, and I'm like, Sony,
Absolutely.
it's Sony. The fans, hear me out. The fans don't want a Craven movie. They don't want a movie with Morbius. They don't want a movie with Madam Web.
Morbius.
They want
That was-
a Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire.
That
Because
was
to be
legend.
fair,
You know
I
what it
wanted a
is?
movie like that.
Yeah.
You guys want to know? You guys want to know something funny? One of our friends, Trevor, calls that movie Morbius. He calls it Morbius.
Pretty good.
That is pretty good.
No, but to be fair, like you see with me, like Craven, like you said, anything Star Wars, like Craven was
The third strike.
for me.
You strike,
like,
you're out.
the problem was I don't even think Craven's the worst like Sony movie that I've seen from that universe. I don't even
Sure.
think Craven was the worst, but it had some cool action moments, but I was just like, bro, what are they doing?
I totally agree. I totally agree, Chris. Like there
Yeah.
was some good moments within the film. Like sure, I'll make sure you look at Morbius and you look at Craven the Hunter, for example.
Yeah.
You do see there are some interesting concepts
Alright.
within the film.
Yeah.
However, here's the problem with Sony. They're so busy, making money. They don't consider the fact of allowing this movie
Like, how
to.
can you make a Spider-Man
succeed, and I
universe
think
without
that's,
Spider-Man himself?
you know,
That doesn't make any
ridiculous.
sense.
Well, you got Madam Web, you got Morbius, and then you got Craven. They didn't have
Madam
Spider-Man in it.
Madam Web's the
If you
worst.
had Spider-Man
Right, there was
and
no
Craven,
Spider-Man.
it would have had me watching it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I heard Madam
I
Web was awful. See,
Oh,
I don't
God.
see how they like.
Yeah.
it's got me worried about Karate Kid Legends being on
Oh my god.
Yeah,
being
no.
on
Yeah.
being with Sony. Like
Yeah.
this is what's got me worried about that. I mean, I still think it'll do. I think it'll do great. And I think it'll definitely like give. Now that they've added it with Cobra Kai,
Yeah.
I think it'll definitely give Cobra Kai the hype that it
Hi for the
definitely
Karate
needs.
Kid.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no, definitely.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
just the fact of like the thing that it comes down to is the problem is some of these movies are becoming too much of a studio
Money.
thing.
Too much money.
It's funny. It's more about the studios. The studios are getting too involved. We witnessed this in 2016 with the first Suicide Squad film with Dawn of Justice. And we've already seen this happen once. But now the studios are getting too involved.
Joe,
they
that's
shouldn't.
exactly what I said earlier. I said that the CEOs, they used to
Yeah.
back off. Now they get involved fully
How they get involved.
because, it's ego.
They don't know. Like this is their beat,
They have
Yeah,
no
see,
understanding. I mean,
what's
yeah.
got me like 50% like on the middle because I know Ralph is in this movie and I know that he would never do. I know that there had to be certain agreements, and
Yeah.
I know that he would never do anything that involved disgracing his character. So that does have me hope that it will be a good movie.
Well, Melissa, did you hear what Hayden had said yesterday about it?
What did he say?
He said that Ralph would never do it if it wasn't going to be good.
That's what I mean.
So I
Yeah.
think you have nothing to worry
That's
about.
good. That's a
because
good sign. That's a
See,
very good
because-
sign.
Ralph is one of those actors where he chooses what he wants to be in, and he denied he denied coming back as Daniel LaRusso for years. And then the moment that they asked him about it, he like didn't like the first script. And then they went and came and did another draft. And then once they finally had a director, they finally had the people working on this properly.
And that's the important part, the director.
Yeah.
And I'm happy. I'm happy they actually decided to change the script.
Yeah.
Because the early stages, like
Agreed,
Exactly,
Red
Retro Lad. Exactly.
when the story actually started to come out, it sounded like BS. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it did.
Well,
I
imagine-
thought it was a joke at first. I thought it was a joke.
That's the problem with these studios. That's the problem with these studio situations is we get some of these bad films because the studio thinks they know what's best and they don't. And then
Well, the big problem you forgot here as well is that a lot of the people involved, who are now fired, by the way, are activists, and they basically have their own agendas. Okay, it's like a weaponized kind of concept, like a gatekeeping concept. I mean, I've been reading about it for the longest time, and quite frankly, the activists, they have their own mindset, and if you don't like it, then that's how they usually put it. Do your own thing, make your own story. That's the kind of attitude they have. These people have been fired, by the way, so things are probably going to change for the better.
I just want to say this too. I mean, when I started this, I just wanted to hear you guys' opinion. Like, I'm glad we got into this conversation. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm glad we got into this conversation. I mean, I just wanted to hear you guys' thoughts on Stranger Things and Cobra Kai getting spin-offs and on Netflix.
yeah, we just got to see what happens. I mean, if there's a good vision, if there's money in it, and the company wants to, the companies want to do it.
Wait, Jake, let Joe talk.
I said that the companies want to do it, then that is what it comes down to.
And another thing too is that the big three are like pretty much positive that they're gonna get that.
Yeah, I believe it.
They're pretty much positive.
Well, they laid the groundwork for it, so.
I think
that's a good sign, right, Joe?
Yeah.
No, that's definitely a good sign.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of like Cobra Kai and like Stranger Things, for example, getting spin-offs, I don't mind it as long as it's like, done correctly. As like I mentioned before, as long as like, the writing is good,
the aesthetics is good,
the setting, the execution, as long as things like that are good, and as long as the story makes sense, then everything should be good. If not, then maybe they should reconsider, or maybe do things differently, like maybe change up an episode.
Listen,
change
if it's
up
in
the
the big
script.
three's hands, it's going to be good because they've proven that this universe is in good hands.
I 100% agree.
I don't have enough slots. I have an extra person that wants to come up, but I don't have enough slots right now.
I will add, though, just out of nowhere, that there is a lot of hate right now with Jack Black and his Minecraft movie.
I heard about that.
I can leave, Joe.
All right, thanks, Jake. We'll get you back in a little bit, I promise.
Bye, Jake.
All right. Take it easy, Jake.
Hey, D-Man.
What's up, D-Man?
Hey.
What's up, D-Man?
It's nice to see you.
You can't do more than 6?
I can only do 6. I use the free version.
It's
So I
nice
can
to
only
see
do
the man behind the game.
I got you.
It's nice to see the man behind the game, behind the gaming service.
Well, he's always doing it.
Oh yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like but it's nice to actually see you. It's nice to see the famous man behind the game.
Hey, guys.
I loved your last gaming service. I saw it.
Oh, yeah.
The Ninja Gaiden Rangers, bro.
I did, no, the
Oh,
first
yeah,
game
so that
took me
was
off.
that guy.
Through the first
He's
game, guys.
the Ninja Gaiden guy.
The
What was it? The
The
Ninja
first
Gaiden
game
Black guy?
took me off, man. But the second game is perfect so far. 10 out of 10.
Well, yeah, it
10 out
was
of
built
10.
that way to be hard for a reason. It's a sequel, dude. It was merciless. This was back at a time when games didn't hold your hand. They were pretty damn merciless, those games.
Yeah, I Devil May Cry 1 was pretty challenging,
Yeah.
too, but Ninja Gaiden one's way harder. Like,
How has your week been, D-Man?
Yeah, how's your week been?
It's been all right. Not too bad.
Good to hear.
I mean,
So, Joe, do you want to start the Brave New World thing?
Yeah, Brave
Oh,
New
yeah.
World.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about Brave New
Guys.
World. I got a lot to say about that.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys, how's everybody's week been? I should have asked that when I came in.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
it's been pretty good for most of us.
It's been okay.
It's been strange for me because I feel like I've been more hydrated than usual, but I think that's mainly due to my workouts because I go to the gym. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I know. For anyone that's been to the gym, you feel more thirsty. I don't know what it is. You just feel more thirsty than usual.
I hear it, yeah.
You come back home and you just want to
Oh.
sleep as well. But
I go to the gym. I run like over 13 miles a day, pretty much.
wow,
wow.
that's pretty good. That's
So,
pretty
like,
good.
More than I do.
So I do hydrate. Yeah, so I understand that feeling.
All right, so I can relate now
Yeah, so
because I was getting worried about it.
D-Man,
Because
have you seen
yeah,
have you seen Brave New World, D-Man?
No. It was,
go
we had
see it?
no Sunday,
Well,
so it was canceled.
I can tell you right now that is
Well-
to your benefit.
Well, here's the thing. They canceled it to next Sunday, so I either see it next Sunday or I possibly could be seeing it Friday, depending. I might have a date. I don't know. So we'll
Okay,
see.
we won't go. We won't go that hard on the spoilers then, but we are going to talk about it here. So
Sure. Oh, that's going to be really difficult. Not talking about the spoilers because there's so much weird stuff in this movie. And how do you walk? Like, how do you walk on eggshells and not talk about the type of stuff that you actually see in the
what we've seen from the trailer to the movie, I guess we can kind of touch on the trailer aspect.
Can I answer this, Joe? Can I answer what Retrolad put?
yeah,
in?
he said from the Olympics.
Not yet. But I am training for. I am trying to do a half marathon. Hopefully, this year.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Wow.
Hopefully, I can.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you have a treadmill at home, Melissa?
Yeah, I have a treadmill at my community where I live in my complex. Hey Joe, do you want to tell everyone about our new stream thing that we're gonna do on Thursday?
Yeah, we're going to be doing a new podcast, which will be called the Herd Podcast, which is going to be kind of about talking about life and exercise and working out and all
that's
those.
fine.
That's cool.
All those
Yeah.
things. So we're
And
excited
also,
about
you
that.
want to tell them about Miyagi Kai Podverse that we're gonna do on
Yeah,
Saturday.
we also have a thing on Saturday called Miyagi Kai podcast, which is
Miyagi
basically which is all about the entire Miyagi verse, the movies, shows,
Oh, okay.
into the future of the whole universe. Red Blood says my girlfriend is laughing. She can't believe Coyote and G-Man in a video together. All right, so I guess we should go across the room and really. So Chris, you saw Brave New World, the most recent of us, right?
Yeah, I saw Brave New World today. So.
Give us your non-spoiler review of Brave New World right now. When see where
I'm
we're
not
at.
a Coyote's mic here. You can't even hear
This should be
anything.
good. This should be very good.
All right, there we go.
So,
Wait, no, there it's back. I can't really. I have a hard time hearing Coyote's mic.
Tony, on your phone there should be in your settings for Discord. There should be no, it's the same for Discord. I think on the phone. I don't know if you're doing it on the phone. There's a settings to I think it's the background noise and that's why.
Yeah, the background noise, you should be able to turn it off.
Yeah, I can't hear anything. Coyote's mic.
Is it me?
Yeah.
All right. So what is it I have to do exactly? Do I have to turn
Just go
something
to
on?
settings on the stream.
Yeah.
And then go to audio.
Okay, so settings.
What was that noise? What is that?
I thought I didn't even know it was me. All right, audio. Yeah.
I didn't even know it was you either. I just heard it, but I wasn't
Noise
sure.
background, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely background noise.
So what is it? Echo cancellation, automatic
Reduce my background. I think.
Well, it's on default. I got echo cancellation. I got automatically adjust mic volume. You got to remember, this is on my phone, so are you sure it's me?
Oh yeah, it should be. It should be. Yeah.
Do you want me to put the echo do you want me to uncheck the echo cancellation?
You could try that.
Yeah, just try that. Let's see.
All right, so,
Thank you.
see if that
I think that worked. I think it did.
Who wants to hear my honest thoughts?
Yeah, I think
We'll go across the room. We'll do one at a time.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
So what was I gonna say? Yeah, so I think so Captain America: Brave New World. I think I can say there's a lot more good to this movie, but at the same time, I do feel like because of the reshoots and how everything's been done and how seeing
They were
certain
scared.
scenes, it's just like they were pretty up. Honestly, they played it safe. They played it
Yeah,
safe. And
yeah,
I
very safe.
I kind of respect it, but then at the same time, I'm like, when I finish the film, I'm like, this could have been another 20, 30 minutes because what am I missing? I'm missing something here. Like, obviously, this isn't really a spoiler about Red Hulk anyway, but Red Hulk is obviously in it. But it's just like, there could have been more to it. I felt like the plot was cool, but it was just, it wasn't fleshed out enough for me personally. That the movie could have carried on for another 30 minutes.
I don't want to cut you off, but you said I thought the plot was cool. I was going to be like, what plot? You mean Incredible Hulk 2?
Oh yeah, like it was cool, like until it got to like the second or third act. I was just like,
Incredible Hulk 2, not starring the Hulk for once.
Yeah,
that's.
I mean, he was more Hulk than he did in the MCU.
It makes absolutely no sense.
You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know, because like even with like, there was even a particular scene towards the end. I'm not gonna say too much, but someone's acting was very like, I was like, oh, bro, come on, man. This is.
I don't know if I can't like
sentimental moment here. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's funny. Jake loves his line.
It was a sentimental moment, and I'm just like, okay.
My biggest question is, and I don't want to go too much into it because I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
But out of all the reshoots that this movie had, can someone find me the guy that looked at the whole movie? They looked at the editing software. They said, you know what? The leader looks good. Like who is that person? And if he signed off on it, find me his name, get him fucking fired, because how the hell does he want to get the leader and go, yeah, this is okay? We had promo art of him like with the goatee and like the long hair. But he's really got like Frankenstein.
Well, first of all, the VFX artists, they all left.
They must have all left because honestly,
all the good ones left.
He looked like Frankenstein merged with Mojo Jojo in the worst way.
Bro, honestly, perfect comparison.
I think I know. I think I know the scene means as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's yeah.
It was bad. It's bad, man. And like, how is he even relevant to this film? Like, why are we like this movie has cameos? Fair enough. I get what they're trying to do, but like, what is the purpose of having?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the leader is more of a Hulk villain, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
you know
he's
supposed so I'm just like, how does this like correlate with what's going on with Captain America?
It feels like they
There's no connection whatsoever.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's no connection. So I was thinking, like,
but it was forced. That's the thing. I think they were forced to try and make. I think personally, if you want my honest opinion, the reshoot was Red Hulk. I don't even think he was in the original cut of the movie. I think it was just
cool if he wasn't.
Well, that's the thing. They wanted to jangle some keys in front of some people and say, "Hey, look at that," you know. So they got to make sure that they've got some kind of like something big and something destructive. Gus from Breaking Bad ain't gonna cut it. Unfortunately, I don't know why was he in there. Why was he there again? He's part of the Serpent.
So here's the thing.
He's Sidewinder, but he doesn't look anything like him.
No, so the whole movie, the whole movie was what they were supposed to do was it was supposed to be Sam Wilson dealing with the whole Serpent Society, but they kept cutting members of the Serpent Society out, and like they kept changing it and then interchanging, and then they're like, oh, we need a mercenary, and then it just became the leader, Red Hulk, and the mercenary. So it's like I'm convinced that when they first started working on this movie, they wanted a grounded political movie, and they wanted it to be the Serpent Society and Sam kind of trying to take them down, kind of shows Sam taking on street level enemies. And
Okay, but the guy doesn't have the serum.
yes, that's why I said it would be street level. If he took on the Serpent Society, not all of them are powered up. So, like, they would have been a little bit more normal than like fighting a Hulk.
Okay, but would you then agree that that's a bit of a downgrade compared to what Captain America was dealing with Bucky Barnes?
Oh yeah, I made my whole point that I think the whole reason this doesn't work is I get what they're trying to do, but the moment that you move Red Hulk in this film and you say Sam's not going to take the serum, that's when you make your first mistake.
I may not have seen it, but I will say, from the sounds of it, if I watch this movie and then go watch Winter Soldier, I'll see it night and day, the quality difference.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously, it's the Russo brothers.
100%.
Yeah. I would rather sit there and watch Cap pull a helicopter down that Bucky is in for 20 minutes straight.
Yeah. The person that made this movie, the person that made this movie, there is no way they've ever worked on a Hollywood film in their life.
Well, they've done projects, but the bottom line is that they are a token person. You know, they're a special token person for this certain project that they got going called the.
But I wasn't going to be this guy, but you can tell from the action sequences in this movie that it's basically like give me a second, I'm going to deal with this moron. Basically that they the action scenes prove to me that this looks like it was shot for a Disney Plus show. Like the tunnel action sequences, the way that they're putting it together. Like,
yeah,
I heard it's better than Ant-Man 3 at least.
Yeah, it is. Only just.
Please don't want to remind me of that.
Joe Johnston should have been the one. I stated this earlier, but Joe Johnston should have been the one that should have directed the fourth Captain America. First of all, fourth Captain America should never have happened, as much as a fourth Thor movie should never have happened. There should have just been the trilogy, just like how they did with the Iron Man trilogy. I thought that's how they were doing it. I mean, up until like they did Thor: Love and Thunder, and then they started losing their minds over like what they were doing with continuity. You know, by the way, they did Christian Bale. They did him dirty. By the way, he should have. I mean,
he was the only best thing about that film. Honestly, he was only the best.
The fact that he had to work with a crappy script, that's one thing. But it's like they didn't give him enough time to breathe. I mean, they couldn't flesh him out at all. It's just like time is money. We got to get this out here, and then like everybody can forget about it so they can be excited for the next best thing. That's effectively what the mindset is here. But it doesn't work that way anymore. Well, it might one last time with the Russo brothers bringing back Robert Downey Jr. I think that's probably their last chance. And then, if anyone's actually still interested in the MCU, this would probably have gone as long as maybe the Star Trek movies that went around during like the 80s. Like its big one was like Wrath of Khan. And then eventually, the decline started to kick in all the way through, and then they had to reset it, with the 2009 Star Trek. This is the exact same thing here, The only difference is that it's going to be a much more slower decline. And whatever is probably going to take its place is probably going to be video game movies, because we're already seeing that. You've seen Sonic and Super Mario Brothers, the movies. They've made so much money, and it's already proven that it works. Unlike certain other projects like Borderlands, Borderlands the movie, and then you had Randy Pitchford going, "Come on, guys, come on, please, just give it another chance. I made this Borderlands 4."
Some stuff they're just doing shows, though. I think it's just Sony, though. Sony's just doing shows, basically. I think specifically. Horizon.
Shows,
it's going to be a show. God of War is going to be a show.
God. Yeah, I forgot about that. They're doing a Horizon. No, this is so. I don't know. Bad. You see, the problem with Horizon is that it's not everything needs to be a movie from a game. Okay, I mean we've seen it. I don't understand what they can't see here. That the video game is its own narrative. I mean, when you watch the HBO season 1 of The Last of Us, you're effectively just watching it without playing it. I got nothing against Bella Ramsey, by the way, but that they should have done that quite a long time ago.
Because I know a lot of people have like many words to say about her, boy.
No, but she did pull it off really well, the character. But it's just that she doesn't look like Ellie.
Yeah,
you know, she doesn't particularly. She was great in Game of Thrones. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like
100%.
she was great. She was still great. And look, we got Pedro Pascal again playing another character. Like, dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, with Pedro Pascal, I don't know what it is, but I've been seeing this guy a lot in everything.
Yeah,
I mean, what was it, Gladiator 2?
Disney cannot let go of him, bro. Like
I don't know what is he like, the janitor of movies now? Is he just like the last resort? They keep getting this guy, and he's just like getting. What is he? Was it like Fantastic Four?
He's a really good actor and everything, isn't it? But it's just like, can we get somebody else for like a different role for that?
He's a good actor, but he can't do Reed Richards. I don't like his Reed Richards. I saw the trailer. I hated it. I hated it. They should have got the guy from. I mean, even the guy from, what was it, Doctor Strange 2? You remember the Reed Richards in Doctor Strange 2?
We don't see him as Reed. That's the problem.
I mean, no, you see him as Pedro Pascal.
The problem. The reason we don't get the other Reed is because everybody looked at Multiverse of Madness as a failure, and then when they looked at the movie as a failure, Marvel didn't understand that we didn't like the movie, but we liked the casting of Reed, right? Yeah. So they didn't understand that we wanted that, but we wanted the shitty movie to go away. So you didn't like the movie, you didn't like that we gave you.
You can't. You cannot be serious. Is that the reason why they didn't give us that version of Reed Richards?
Oh yeah.
I mean, good God, man, we still watched the movie. I mean, give us that. They got the money. I mean, what's going on here? I mean, come on, can they give us a break, man? But
Jake, come back up.
I don't get it.
I'm asking Jake if he wants to come back up. Yeah. Do you want to come back, Jake? Oh, I thought I saw more.
Can I just say this, Joe?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Captain America: Brave New World yet. I mean, I'm going to. Probably when it comes out on when they do inevitably put it out on Disney Plus. I'll probably watch it there. But just by going with what you guys said, I heard it wasn't like it wasn't really the best. Like the plot,
well, Joe hasn't even heard my opinion yet. He's only heard
nothing in the MCU. Nothing in the MCU that's not nostalgic, such as Spider-Man or Deadpool, is really good. We can even consider Daredevil nostalgic at this point. So
I've actually started watching the new Spider-Man show that they've had.
Oh yeah, it's really good. I like it.
It's good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus.
I don't care about
the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, you're Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Friendly Neighborhood Spider-man.
I think I said this to Joe. Like, when it comes to like Spider-Man cartoons, the care for it is just not there for me like it used to be. Like, I don't know where it was. I think the last one before was just annoying.
Not with this one though. They actually did a really good job on it.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, I have seen the first 3 episodes, and it does look cool from what I've seen, but it's just, I don't know. For me, it's like it's hard to top.
How many episodes did you get? Did you get in, Chris?
I got into like 3. I'm gonna go back and watch it at some point, but
it only gets better. It only
gets better. Yeah. And we got the last 2 episodes coming out tomorrow. So
okay.
Yeah, I only watched the first 3 myself, but I'm gonna watch more of it. I hear you with what you're saying, because for me, like Spider-Man, the best for me was the 1994 version Spider-Man that they did.
Oh, you're talking about the cartoon, the animated series?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one with 3D in it as well.
When they stopped doing that, when they made all these other dumb Spider-Man shows after that. I lost interest. I'm sorry, Chris. We want to go?
That's cool. I think the only good Spider-Man show after the 90s one was the Spectacular and Ultimate. Those are the only 2 I really kept up with because I felt like they're still.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
As for the rest, as for like, I think there was one after Ultimate Spider. I can't remember what that one's called. And then this
Now-
one, I don't know. Just
When it comes to Spider-Man movies, I will still say to this day that the Tobey Maguire one was the best.
Spider-Man
Yes.
2?
I agree.
Which one?
Yeah, I
Which
agree.
one though?
Uh,
The first one,
the first
OG.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one.
Okay.
the first one, yeah,
Like, yeah, I mean,
I-
and the
think
sequel
one
was
and two
really
was good.
good.
yeah, one
The,
or two
but the
was
first
really
one,
Yeah, the
third
second one had
was
more.
not great. The third
action
one was
in it,
not
yeah.
great.
I like the third one more than Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, that's
Whoa,
that's
yeah,
fair.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
hear
Fair.
you.
That's
I
fair.
hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I would agree with that. I would
Yeah, like-
definitely agree with that.
Yeah,
I would
like-
so
I hate the
agree.
design of the lizard guy. He was just a
like,
mess.
And my issue with Amazing Spider-Man 2 was that in one movie, in just one whole movie, they tried to force to set up a Sinister Six all in one movie.
Mhm.
I was
Hmm.
like,
Now-
what the hell is
There's
this?
a scene with Green Goblin where he gets hit in the clock tower and you see his stunt double.
Now, I will
Oh, yeah.
say this
Oh,
though,
yeah.
at the
Well,
end.
you say that. You say that. There's also a scene where Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, there's the stunt double actually has breasts. Yeah, so there's a
Oh my
female.
God.
There was a
Oh.
female
I'm
stunt
just
double
glad-
for that because she was really good at doing backward flips. She was, I think she's like an acrobat gymnast, and she was doing real flips and everything. And then
Spider-Woman.
yeah, and what is this quick? It's a very quick clip, so you wouldn't realize it. But they said it in the DVD, and I could not stop thinking about it.
Oh my God, Coyote.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
I'm
Yeah.
just glad that they brought them back because Andrew
I will
Garfield got a
say-
lot of hate for a little while.
Yeah, no, I thought
Second
that for
movie.
me.
And then by
Andrew-
the time No Way Home came out, everyone loved him
Yeah,
and was
no,
so happy.
that's true.
about
I
it.
don't
Yeah,
exactly
his
Andrew Garfield
acting
as
in No Way
Spider-Man. I
Home
feel
was
like Andrew
incredible.
Garfield was a better. He was a better Spider-Man than Peter Parker. He was a good Peter Parker for sure, but
Not as
He was
good
a
as
You
better
know what?
Spider-Man.
I have to laugh really hard. Now, I want to say two things. One, at the end, I will say, as like, even though Spider-Man 3 did so much better than the Amazing Spider-Man 2, I agree with you on D-Man on that. I will say though, at the end where they showed Rhino looked pretty cool. I wish we got more of him.
yeah,
I don't know. He's a really weak villain. I mean,
was
he's like a
weird.
Oh,
thug.
no,
was-
but the
it
way
was
the
better
design
than-
was.
I
The
hate to say
design
that it
was.
was at least a better Rhino than the one that was in whatever that.
That's what I
movie
mean. Like the
was recently.
design was really good. Like the design was really good.
At least for Mecha,
Sure, yeah.
Rhino.
Yeah.
it
All right.
was
Now,
fine.
what I find so laughable?
Yeah.
Do you remember in the OG Tobey Maguire movie, say J. Jonah Jameson says, "I trust." When Peter says to J. Jonah Jameson, he says, "You don't trust anyone. That's your problem." And J. Jonah Jameson says, "I trust my barber." And then we have we cut to No Way, and then we cut to No Way Home. All right, I think it was No Way Home. I forget which movie it is. No Way Home, right?
He's in No Way Home. Yeah,
Yeah, No Way Home, and he's completely bald.
he is. He's great though. I mean,
He played a
he
perfect
terrifies
role.
me. I mean, considering I've seen Whiplash, I now know what he's capable of.
He
Yeah.
was a perfect casting for J. Jonah Jameson, honestly.
Yeah, he was great.
he was.
That's why he brought him back. I mean, he's absolutely fantastic. But yeah,
He even looks like the animated one in the.
he does.
Yeah,
He does. I think that's why they did it. I personally think why Sam Raimi, who at the time he was the one, he's like that. He likes the quirky looking kind of looking guy. I mean, the same could be said with was it Sandman? He likes those old fashioned looking guys.
Yeah.
He's got that good understanding of that kind of good aesthetic touch. He doesn't want like the modern feel. He likes the kind of like that comical old fashioned feel. That's what Sam Raimi does best. Although I gotta say though, I didn't know he was the one that directed the second Doctor Strange too. But you know, I guess you know, I don't know.
The other director left in it. That's why.
You know
Yeah, that's what it was
was
told. Yeah.
in the OG, and you know what I found really interesting in the OG Spider-Man is that they made the webbing a part of Peter's powers this time. So I found that really
organic. Yeah,
how they were able to make that work. But in the Amazing Spider-Man, they stuck with the original comic idea about him designing the web.
That's right.
Which do you think was better? That the with the web was a part of his power, or the
I think I'm gonna
Again,
go with the OG web shooters.
Yeah, because it's infinite ammo. I mean, think about it.
I think with the whole, like, realistically, a spider when it has its web anyway, like the Tobey Maguire one was kind of unrealistic because like an actual spider doesn't like. It uses the same web pretty much, isn't it? So
it is a double-edged sword because at the same time, you got to remember this is coming out of his wrist, so that is quite painful, especially when he's like holding the train back. I personally think there is limits to his body when he's holding things back. I mean, it's pretty painful when you're taking your body weight and you have to then like swing around with something coming out of your wrist. You know,
I think he like lets go when he springs it. I just find it really interesting because, like, for the first time, they actually put in, like, they actually removed a plot hole, like, where he doesn't have to worry about running out, and that actually gets mentioned and that actually even gets mentioned in No Way Home.
Yeah, that's right. But I think that's mainly because I think Sam Raimi, he didn't want to deal with it, and personally, he just wanted to deal with the actual plot. And second of all, Sam Raimi, he's more into the whole magical thing. I mean, he's always done that kind of mysterious, magical thing that can't really be explained. Again, I think this is the reason why he was called for Doctor Strange Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness. And he's all into the whole magical powers. So effectively, it's kind of magical, but at the same mutant powers at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you Joe, did he want to hear my opinion about Brave New World, or are we done with that?
Go ahead.
All right. Well, I did state it before originally that I personally think that if they were going to make a fourth Captain America Brave New World, first of all, originally it was called New World Order, and I think that sounded way better because it sounded like a threat. You know, so, oh my God, New World Order? Oh my God, are they taking over? What's going on? You know, it sounded like that. Brave New World sounds like it's almost like they were kind of like I don't know, flexing over James Gunn's Superman, because originally it was going to be called Man of Tomorrow or something like that, and then he just
Superman was supposed to be called Superman Legacy, and then they changed it to
yeah, that's right, yeah, Superman Legacy.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, and then they changed it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So okay, fine. I don't know why I thought of that, but it sounds similar to like something like Superman, though, doesn't it? It sounds Superman-ish, Brave New World, doesn't it? I think that's the reason why they did it. And look, he can fly. Look at that. He's flying. He's like, look, see, we don't need a Superman. We don't need a Superman in our MCU, even though we've got Geyer and Captain Marvel. We don't need that. Look at that. Look at that. He's flying with his wings and everything. And it's like, okay, great. So how's the plot going? Not really well. I mean, this is the reason why, again, like I said, Joe Johnson, the guy that did Rocketeer, he should have been the guy that should have done this movie. I mean, he would have just played it out straight. He would have just like said, right, this is what you need to do. He would have treated Harrison Ford with a lot more respect because those two go way back. And then, you know, like everyone else, it would have been just like, okay, you do this, and you do this. You know, perhaps they wouldn't have had the 50% Rotten Tomatoes score that they've got on there. But although I got to say the audience score is higher than usual, although that is questionable. But either way, overall, the beginning of the movie, oh my God, I can't even remember now. How did it begin? Without even putting any spoilers in. I guess it's just him doing his thing and him just like continuing from where it left off with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And, you know, I couldn't watch that. I mean, I know I've watched some of those episodes. I just couldn't do it. It's so painful. It's so painful to watch because it's like...
Majority of people said it was good, but...
No, I can't do it. Dude,
I like Falcon, but I didn't have a care for the show for it.
No, I didn't either.
What is
but
the point in bringing in another freaking Falcon, dude? What is the point?
Because he's a comic relief, and he's also the most annoying thing in the movie as well. At least to me, anyway. I've got nothing against the actor. It's just that we don't need this right now. We're trying to fix the MCU. We don't need more like, hey, look, we're doing a little bit of a funny thing. It's like, like Guardians of the Galaxy. Remember Guardians of the Galaxy? I know, James Gunn, he's not with us anymore, but hey, look, we can still do funny, This is the reason why Tiki Takeaway did, what was it, Thor Ragnarok? Because of Guardians of the Galaxy. They came out the same year in 2017. What was it, like Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Love and Thunder direct Ragnarok baffles me. Baffles me that it's the same director.
Well, Ragnarok was good. It was fun. It was
You
fun.
guys know the story about what happened with like the actual like when they made Thor: Love and Thunder. Like there was all these reports that Taika Waititi had a good script and all these other things that happened. And so apparently, literally, he needed money.
He did it for the money. He needed money
so bad. He was walking around on set drunk. He didn't care. He wasn't nice to any of the cast members. He didn't care whatsoever.
And that's why Chris Hemsworth walked away. That's why he walked away. He said he ain't going to come back until, I don't know, Avengers.
Yeah, well, apparently the Russo brothers brought him back because they're getting ready to film Doomsday, and he's in already.
He's full all in, definitely with the Russos, dude. Especially
Well,
RDJ being the villain. And, like, he probably thinks that's amazing that he gets to work out with RDJ again, and like possibly Chris Evans, like and all these other actors.
There's no possibly about it. Chris Evans is back. There's no possibly about it.
He'll be back, but I don't think he's coming back as Captain America. I think he's going to be coming back as either Nomad. At least in the comics,
No, he's evil.
because I think that makes perfect sense. If Robert Downey is going to play a villain, so is Chris Evans, even though he doesn't look like a bad.
Well, that's the thing. They're bringing him in as Hydra Cap, not Nomad. Nomad was.
Man, it's funny. I knew you were going to say that Hydra Captain Hydra, was it? Is it Captain Hydra?
Yep. Because they're using a lot of the red. They're using a lot of the red herring like article stuff to like hide you guys from the red tape. But it's my job as a YouTube content creator to talk to like these people and have conversations with them and find out all the secrets because I make content about that. So like I go down, I have the top sources. So like when Deadpool and Wolverine was coming out, I had people messaging me left and right, telling me like, "Oh, yeah, Blade's gonna be in Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh, Alexa's gonna be in
you knew
Deadpool
before
Wolverine."
it came out?
You knew that before that? Dude, come on, man. You pretty would have wanted to hold on for the cameos. I think everybody knew that.
There's some things I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know, but I get DMs from people, and then I had to block a bunch of people because they.
Dude, I didn't even see Blade coming in those cameos. The cameos were great.
Well, first when they told me about Blade, I told them I didn't want to talk to them anymore because I'm like that's never happening, and I blocked them instantly because I was like, yeah, I don't believe you, man. Like, I think the last thing I heard was like they said Human Torch, and I was like, I don't believe it, and I'll believe it when I see it, and then I just kind of didn't take them seriously.
Yeah.
But then like there's other things like that are going on in the inner workings. It just seems like the stupid plan about when they're doing Kang was it was just going to be Kang and his variants, and now it's going to be Doom and like evil Avengers. So like you're probably going to see like Doctor Doom with the like even some of these actors need to shut their mouths because like Anthony Mackie said something the other day. Like,
you're talking about the whole bashing America thing? I'm getting sick and tired of that crap.
They need to be careful with the stuff they say because it
very
well could hurt.
His response to that was that, well, I wasn't in America when I said that. He was in like, what was he, in Italy or something like that when he was talking like about that? You're talking about, I mean, what was it? He basically stated that, well, Captain America represents a lot of things, but I don't think America is one of the, no, wait. America. He had so much disdain for that, I'm getting sick and tired of this crap,
Yeah, that's a good one. I agree, Coyote.
Before the movie came out, he's still talking about fighting Chris Evans now too. Like they're talking about them fighting like in the movie, like he's like people, like, I don't get how Kevin Feige is not like running around and like not like catching these guys and stopping them from saying these things.
I really hope that You could
Because
have.
there are actors that are legitimately like giving out spoilers about like certain things that I just don't get how they're like literally being able to talk about things.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
Retrolad,
No.
can I answer this, Joe? Can I
Yeah.
answer this?
Yeah, Retrolad asked an interesting question. I want to see.
Yeah. That is an interesting question, Retrolad. I personally, I don't think they will. I mean, I don't. I think that if you've got something good, then I don't think anything should get in the way of that. But I mean, at the same time, you never know. But I, from just in my opinion, I don't think it will.
I mean,
No,
the way I look at it,
the next big successful Fantastic Four, believe it or not, I don't even know if that movie's gonna necessarily do well in the box office
Well,
either.
they called it
but
First
what will do good is Avengers if it has good trailers, and the first teaser has to be very, very
Yeah, I don't know
good.
how
The
you
movie
messed
has
that
to
up.
be good. The first trailer has to be narrated by Robert Downey Jr. I think Joe said that something about this, kind of like Thanos with the first trailer for Infinity War, but with Robert Downey Jr.
I think they did that with every Avengers movie.
You're going to truly bring in millions and millions of views by doing the trailers justice, focusing on Robert Downey Jr.'s villain arc, basically, here, and teasing us with who's in this movie, what characters are in this movie. The first teaser, all it has to be is him narrating the trailer and you showing us snippets of different characters that are in the movie. Like kind of thing. That's all you have to do for the first teaser, and it's going to get tons of views because Robert Downey Jr. is narrating it.
And they better not do that thing with what they did with, you remember with, what was it, the Marvels, where they literally just like did the whole, hey, look, it's Robert Downey Jr. who's not in the Marvels. You remember that trailer when they had like the Avengers?
Yep.
And they just literally had, so like backflash, none of that flashback stuff. They should just like keep.
They're not going to because they have the Russos.
Okay.
The Russos are going to make sure that these movies are awesome and freaking succeed.
Well,
and make
of course,
good trailers.
These
movies are going to be good. These are going to be good because the Russos. They have never made a bad movie.
Yeah, plus they're going to.
Well, okay, let me ask you the question. What about The Gray Man? Was that a bad
Marvel
movie?
I don't know. I've never watched Marvel before. You know what?
Got him. I got him. Got him.
They've never made
That's
a bad
it.
Marvel.
Fair enough.
I don't know. They don't make bad movies. They brought them back because they're not stupid and realized, oh shoot, who are we gonna get to make these Avengers movies actually good?
Dude, they were paid $100 million.
Yeah,
each.
Imagine if these movies hadn't got. Imagine if they wouldn't have got the Russos back. Imagine if these Avengers movies.
No, they needed them back.
Dude,
they had to get them back.
They did, and they probably made a deal with them for them to have creative freedom on going by comic books on what they want to do because they wanted to do Secret Wars way back. They were like, that's the only way we'd probably come back, maybe. But then for a long time, they were like, we're not coming back. We're done with Marvel. Blah blah blah.
And
so
apparently,
they
they're
paid them pretty good.
They're writers, the guys that did all the Captain America movies with them and Infinity War and Endgame. When the Russo brothers said that they were going to come back, they were like, "Fuck no," and like they didn't want to come back.
No,
and then then the guy goes on the phone and calls up. I think it was Joe or Anthony Russo in the morning, and he's like, "Okay, I was doing some writing. I have an idea," and it was apparently the writers from all the movies that the Russo brothers worked on that came up with the idea. They're like, okay, how are we going to do this? And then they come up with the idea. Because what's really interesting is they're trying to change the narrative that before the Kang situation, that this Doctor Doom thing like just came out of nowhere.
Okay.
You know, like they're trying to change the narrative that like people keep thinking that.
Well, the thing is a lot of people. Okay, maybe the Loki show more people watched, but there's a lot of people who haven't watched all these Marvel TV. Loki's one of the few good things that happened in Phase 4 or 5.
Really? I don't know.
I don't even consider these phases anymore. I don't know why they call it Phase 4, 5, 6.
Yeah,
whatever.
I agree. I mean, the Phase 4 was just absolutely insane.
It was Phase 1, 2, and 3 is because you ended the phase with an Avengers movie.
Exactly.
They didn't do that with Phase 4.
Thank you. Finally.
They are not phases. They're just Marvel.
They ended the fourth phase with Wakanda Forever?
How many times did they change Phase 4 and Phase 5 movies and TV shows? They said this was our list, and then they changed everything.
I saw the roadmap. I saw it.
Yeah, way too many times.
Yeah.
I mean, Blade was supposed to be in Phase 4, I think.
It's
Yeah,
all
but it
stupid.
never happens.
It's all stupid.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
It's pretty pathetic because I look at this with Marvel and with Disney and stuff and the crap they're doing and the money they're losing. And then I look at video games and I'm like, PlayStation's losing money. Freaking Xbox is going downhill with their freaking giving PlayStation their games. Ubisoft having problems. All these companies, but then you got
Ubisoft is on the
Nintendo's
way
good.
out, dude.
Capcom's good.
Ubisoft
Good
is
God,
good.
man.
Some companies, it's like, dude, why are people? I don't understand why millionaires are so stupid. Like,
It's called
how-
hubris.
like
It's called ego.
all they
called
care about is
complacency.
money. But then they don't
Yeah.
even make the money. Then they don't even make the money because their stuff isn't good. They'd make more money if their stuff was good.
No, but they're still like feeding off the money that we've been giving them for the last 3 decades. Yeah, well, no, I say 3 decades because let's face it, like professionals, that's what we call them, or at least what we used to call them, professionals who used to work in the industry, they've walked away, or they're veterans, or they're retired. Or one of the, like it could be a combination of all three. The bottom line is that they don't want to look. You bring up the video game industry. I mean, take a look at BioWare. All right, that's just a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. Okay, there were like veterans that I knew personally that were in BioWare that were there since like 1999, when they actually had the IP of Baldur's Gate. Right? I mean, that's how far back I go with BioWare. A lot of people probably grew up with the Mass Effect and all of that. That was the second age. The original first age of BioWare was with Baldur's Gate 1, 2, and 3, Neverwinter Nights. What was the other one? Jade Empire and Knights of the Old Republic. That's where it ended. That was the first original era of that age. And then they basically went on to do Mass Effect and Dragon Age and all of that. This is when people started to change, in the industry of BioWare, because, just like take a moment to look at like the logo when it ever changes, and think about who is changing that logo as well, right? Because the moment that, like Dragon Age Valgard came out, like the game that I didn't like buy because, I knew it was really bad. Everybody in the, especially the director, were a bunch of activists, these people basically go on X and they have a self-complex. And by the way, this is the other problem as well. You said it yourself, they can't keep their mouth shut. They cannot help themselves. And this is the problem. The same was with the Valve, by the way. There was a big drama with that game as well. It's like a domino effect every single time,
I think that's the problem, man. That's because it's like these games and stuff. It's like if they're there if they've been there since the ground up, I'll be like, all right, cool, whatever. You know what I mean? But if it's a thing where you've seen something and then they just add it in later, and then it's just like, oh, you want to put all your agendas in it after? It's like, well, why didn't you do this from the jump rather than just? Because not everybody's on the same thing as that. So I
loved the PlayStation 4 generation. There were so many good AAA first party games and stuff. PlayStation was crushing it. This generation, I was like, all right, you got Spider-Man 2, you got God of War Ragnarok. All right, there was a few good things.
Yeah.
But what was there last year other than Astrobot? Stellar Blade, I guess, but that's probably not going to stay first party, I assume.
Well, it's
not a big IP or anything anyways.
Well, Astrobot is basically a ripoff of Super Mario. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, but in a good way. The game is so incredible. It's so good. But why did Sony do a show and they just like showed, like, don't get me wrong, I like Days Gone, but Days Gone Remastered, like,
that's silly to me. That's really silly. Yeah. Why are you doing a remaster for a game that's
I grew up with basically PlayStation 4, and I love the Spider-Man game that they had with it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Where's Wolverine?
I think that.
Oh, that's coming. That's coming.
It is. Like they'll show it this year at some point. It's just. I don't know. Unless Sony's just waiting till summer and they're going to do their own showcase and they're going to show a ton of good games that are coming that are first party.
Well, I personally think that you're half right. I personally do believe that they're playing the waiting game with all of these remasters to be more compatible with the PlayStation 6. That's my first guess. The other is that they are just simply taking too long to make video games. It takes like 10 years. Neil Cuckman over there, he basically spent how many years again was it? It was like 11 years, 2 games.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all he's got to show for it. We got to stop with this crap. You know, we got to stop with this whole
Unless you're
entire crap
Rockstar.
with like
GT, their games are huge though. Rockstar, their games are big open worlds, so those games,
Well-
I get why they take longer.
well, that's why they want to charge everybody $100 for it.
I really don't. I
I
pay like
yeah.
80 maybe.
If they
but
do that,
no.
the
80?
video game
No.
industry is. If
You know,
do
they will
that,
get away with it.
industry's
I'm telling you right now. I am telling you right now, they will get away with pricing at $100, and then you will see other companies try to pull off the same thing, and it won't work.
No.
I'm not buying
Bring it,
GTA
Rod.
6 for $100. When I saw that shit, I was like, nope,
That's
it's not
3
happening.
digits for a video game at launch with no deluxe, not even the deluxe edition or anything. That's horrible.
I remember
Oh,
like when
stupid.
I remember when the PS2 came out, like I would play it for hours. I would
Yeah.
play it for hours. It was my favorite thing to do. And like the games
I'm
were
not-
phenomenal. The graphics were amazing.
I'm not buying that game for $100. That is not happening.
You will.
It will get no money from me whatsoever.
Or you'll try and find an easier, a cheaper solution. What are you going to do? Try and pirate it?
No.
Good luck with that.
No, I just don't care. I just don't care. I work a
That's
full-time
greed.
job.
You will.
I have other
Yeah, come on.
things to do. I
Wait,
don't have
wait.
time to do
No,
that.
for the diehard
Alright.
for the diehard fan base that GTA has,
They will.
They're-
They will. Yeah,
they're-
I'm telling you, they will do it.
Yeah.
They'll do it. They'll do it.
You know, what I
They
mean?
We're
will
living in a
pay
world where-
$100
we're
for
living
it.
in a world right now. I don't know how you guys are overseas, but it's hard for anyone to get jobs now in the world that we live right now.
Oh,
No
Yeah.
one can afford $100 games
100%.
Yeah.
because nobody can get jobs. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I can't spend $100 on video games because I'm a big boy and I have to pay my rent. So
Yeah.
that's not gonna happen. Sorry,
Take Two doesn't care. They are still going to do it.
it's not
Yeah.
gonna happen.
If they pull it off,
Oh, they'll play the
gaming
waiting
industry
game.
is-
They'll play the waiting game, and then they'll say that they made a mistake. Oh, whoops! We accidentally priced it at $100. We've now reduced it to about 50% the price.
Yeah,
I
we
can
now
promise
reduced
you-
$99
I
and
can
99
promise you they can
cents.
do what they
Yeah.
want. But I can
One
Yeah.
cent's
promise you
gonna make a
there's
difference.
gonna be
70
people-
already is pushing it in this economy. Like,
Yeah, but they do it
They're
all the
going
time.
to-
Look at Ubisoft, for instance. They have that whole entire tier set. You know the one I'm talking about. They don't do it
Oh,
anymore
yeah,
because they're
yeah.
desperate. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like the
Yeah.
deluxe system. Was it the deluxe
Yeah.
pricing? You got the was it the master edition, and then you got the standard edition for poor
Yeah.
people. You
That's what I'm
know?
saying, like, but you see, the thing is, back okay. When Ubisoft first did it, like probably let's say
It was with Deus Ex, I think it was. I think that was the first one they did it with.
it was like what 30, 40 pounds, then maybe 50, 60 at most.
Yeah.
That-
Yeah,
that-
that's right.
That was decent. But
Mhm.
nowadays, certain games, like even especially like with Star Wars Outlaws, I saw £100 for like the whole deluxe. No, it was the master, that
But
was
the
like-
quality of
you know,
Ubisoft games are bad.
yeah,
So
no,
they
completely.
they don't really have any kind of merit to stand on where they can then basically say, yeah, well, we made a game and we're not, you're going to have to pay. No, we don't do that anymore, Ubisoft, because everybody is starting to figure you out now. They know that you make games just for the sake of making games. They've been doing that for the last 15 years.
From the last game, the only game I'm gonna get
Yep.
from Ubisoft is Assassin's Creed Shadows. That'll be the last. game I'll
Ridiculously
probably start.
generic, mediocre games that they make.
enjoying it.
What? Assassin's Creed Shadows?
Yeah, that'll be the last. That'll be the last. The thing is,
It
I
will
don't
be
buy
the last
Ubisoft
game.
games as much anyway. So like, that'll
Yeah,
probably be the
but
last
yeah,
time.
it's so
and Assassin's
sad.
Creed isn't.
It's so
Assassin's
sad.
Creed isn't even in its prime anymore. So
No, it isn't. No, absolutely not. I mean, they basically threw away the storyline like back in Assassin's Creed 2, and they haven't actually given a crap about it since.
I miss
You know?
the days when I was not tired of Star Wars and Marvel.
yeah, word.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah. Well,
But
it's
you
called
know,
Disney.
Marvel is starting to come around a little bit.
At least with video games, my Japanese studios still don't let me down.
Yeah, true.
Well,
Yeah.
that's because they have discipline, they have culture, they have respect
They just get
as
it.
well for their own people and for their own country.
Yeah,
A
like
lot
when
of
there was
these-
all them, like when there was all them gaming layoffs, and Nintendo was like, "We're just gonna lower your pay, but we're not gonna lay any of you work."
Oh, that was Iwata. Yeah,
Yeah, that's so cool.
that was amazing. I had no idea until I
Yeah.
learned about that. Yeah,
That's the better outcome.
that's the level of respect. Yeah.
Yep. And you got companies like Capcom or Square Enix who are just killing it, making great games still. They have
Yeah.
any
Although-
Japan gaming studio as of right now still has my trust and probably will for years to come because they just know what they're doing. They just know what
I
they're
will
doing.
say that Square Enix, they are having some problems though. I mean,
Some problems.
when
Yeah.
well,
Other games are still quality.
yeah, they are. I mean, but when it came down to what was it Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, they then said, "Okay, we are aggressively going to put this on every single platform, including the Nintendo Switch too." I'm 100% sure that's going to be on that console. It's going to be great. But I think that was basically I believe Square is the last loyal the last loyal video game company to Sony. They are the last ones that used to always make exclusives. Second to Capcom.
And Sony was thinking of buying From Software. Are they really going to be able to do that? Come on. At this point,
that you see, that kind of deal has been going on for the last 10 years.
probably
Ever since
because they had Bloodborne and they had
Demon's Souls. It began with
Bloodborne and then
Demon's Souls.
Yeah,
It's all about Demon's Souls. They underestimated how popular the Souls-like series was going to be. They didn't continue. Say it again.
Demon's Souls was amazing. The remake, I launched
Yeah,
on PS5, it was incredible.
Well, I'm referring to the PlayStation 3 exclusive, specifically the one that they did not continue, and Sony decided to drop the ball on that, and that's basically what led to Dark Souls, because
They only
effectively,
wanted because of Elden Ring and its success.
yeah. When you put it like that, I guess that's pretty what it is. Yeah.
Bloodborne? What? We want them now because of Elden Ring.
Yeah. It's too late though. It's too late. Way too late. Yeah. I think From Software should say no. I think they should refuse, because they will probably just give them.
Ruin the company. It could ruin the company.
It would. Yeah. Well, yeah, because Sony. Let's face it, they're still thinking, they've got the mindset of like 2005 where they think they could just build up their first party company. Look, Microsoft is not this, they're no different either. I mean, they bought up, what was it? They got Bethesda, they haven't done anything with them. And then they got, what was it? Activision Blizzard, which was like the biggest deal. Jim Ryan then gets involved and then basically starts running amok. And then he leaves, I mean, the biggest mistake that Sony made was getting rid of Sean Layden. They should never have got rid of that guy, or he should never have left.
I thought he left. What, did they actually fire him?
I think he walked away because I think he started to realize just how bad things were at Sony. And Jack Tretton, who basically set the bar, Jack Tretton, the guy that basically tried to clean up Sony the best he could, he left. He left it on a high note. He knew it wasn't going to last forever. Yeah. Sean Layden, he basically took the torch and basically tried to keep everything nice and clean. But unfortunately, that didn't work either. So, I don't know if it may have been in reaction to The Last of Us Part 2, because he left roughly about that time. He must have seen it. He must have said, "What have you done?" Yeah, but he's looking at Naughty Dog and thinking, "Oh my God, this is our baby. What have you done, Neil? Neil, what are you doing?" I mean, this was owned by Bruce, the guy who built the studio.
For Naughty Dog, because obviously I'm looking forward to that new game they're dropping, but if that doesn't perform well,
are you talking about Interstellar?
Yeah,
I don't know about that. That's Neil.
I hope it's good. I hope it's good.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Retrolag, good point. That's a good point. Joe is loving that Blue Beetle shirt.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
No, that is a good shirt.
He's rocking it. He's rocking it. He's the new age Blue Beetle. He's the new age.
I wish it was Blue Beetle, man. That'd be awesome. I would. One of my biggest hopes that I might make a video on is I would love. This will never happen, but I wish that comic book fans would see Blue Beetle like so many people have seen Spider-Man. That was always my biggest dream to see happen, and it hasn't happened yet, which really sucks.
Yeah.
'Cause
I think
it's so cool for DC to have that, man. That would have been so.
are they working on a second movie for Blue Beetle?
That's
Did
a
you say,
good one.
Chris?
Are they working on a second movie for Blue Beetle? I think
Well, yes,
so.
they
Probably.
did one, and then they're doing an animated thing right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a
That-
downgrade, but I don't know.
When's that coming out? Where is that supposed to come out?
It'll probably be on Max unless they release it elsewhere, but it's
The
going to be.
animated one?
Let me show you guys something really cool. You'll
What do you got?
appreciate this. You'll appreciate this.
Let's have a look.
Her
Oh my
autograph.
god. Oh,
Yep.
Cool.
Oh, that's okay.
Tara Strong.
Yeah, Tara
Wow.
Strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
my
That's
god.
really crazy.
I met
dude.
Tara Strong a couple of years ago. She was super cool. It just has all her freaking characters on there, man. You got Raven, you got
That
Harley
is crazy.
Quinn. Everybody's on there.
That's amazing.
It's so cool.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
with
She was really cool. It was awesome meeting her.
that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, Joe. Like anything, what would you want like more from Blue Beetle in terms of like from what you saw from the first movie? What would you want more in like the second one if they?
I just would like a better cohesive like story, and for them
Yeah.
to do more with it, and
Yeah.
just like. Yeah, I think he'll get his chance, Jennifer.
Yeah.
I really think that she.
We'll bring him back.
Well, I think
I
the
don't think-
original.
Not enough people seen the
I
movie,
think so.
dude. He's not even part of that universe.
Well,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
well, that's the weird thing, right? So, like, the universe that they did the Blue Beetle movie right as the DC universe is about to get cut. Starting the new
Well,
one.
they did it after Zack Snyder's last movie, I think.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
was it after The Flash? It was after The
Yeah.
Flash, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the Flash. But then you had but then what happened was James Gunn was like, "Oh, I really like this actor and this character, so we got to do more with this." And
All right.
so now they're kind of planning on moving him over to the new
To James Gunn's universe.
It
Okay.
makes sense because Blue Beetle's like we haven't like he's a good character.
He's a
to
Teen
have
Titan.
anyway. Yeah.
He's from the
Yeah.
Teen Titans.
That's
But
why I showed the Tara
Yeah.
Strong thing, because you guys brought up DC and this and that.
No, that's
Oh, Tara Strong, right.
that brings up a good point.
Because she said that she would love to do another season of the original Teen Titans.
oh my god, I would pay good money
Bro, I'd
for
like
that to
see
come
that,
back.
bro, honestly.
Yeah.
That would be season 6, by the way. I've got the entire
Do you
DVD
think-
set.
Do you think even at 50 years old, she'd still want it? So she'd still want to do it, even
Yep.
at the,
Yeah, they
that's
could
what
use
makes-
they could trust me. They could just use AI to get her voice to be younger again. It'll be fine.
When I met
Yeah.
her in person, and I went to her panel as well, and every voice she did, it didn't sound any different than it did back then, dude.
Yeah, she's got great stamina.
She's
Yeah,
just
no, she's
really good at what
definitely
she
good.
does.
She's great.
She does
Yeah,
not look
Tara
like
Strong
her
is
50s.
amazing. I would have loved to meet.
No,
Tara
she
Strong.
doesn't.
I have-
I agree.
You guys
Yeah.
can't see it. You guys can't see it behind me, but or maybe you can a little bit. I can see if I can pull it off the wall. I have a picture back here in my background of me with Ray Park and Sam Witwer back there. The two.
Wow.
You gonna talk?
Yeah. Hey, Joe. Can I
Wow,
give
that's
my
great.
thoughts on Blue Beetle and
Yeah,
what I
go
would
ahead.
like to see from?
Yeah, sure,
Blue
go ahead.
Beetle, too, 'cause
Yeah, go
I
on.
did see that movie. I loved how they had Sholo play in that part because I think that role was perfect for him.
Well, that's
Like,
the thing.
he
When,
was
when
the
you're
only- he's
casting
the only
someone,
actor-
like when they're not to cut you off, Melissa, but when they're casting someone, like obviously he had Cobra Kai going on, but like when you look at Sholo, as much like Cobra Kai was great, and there's always gonna be great stuff to do. When you look at these young actors, he fits that role so perfect.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
to,
Yep.
to me, it would be a dream to see him lined up with the Teen Titans. Like I would love to see because they've been working on. I don't know if you guys know this, but they've been working on Teen Titans film at DC now. I think for since they started launching this new universe, they have the script done for it. So
Mhm.
they're working on that right now, which is pretty big.
I just
So,
don't care.
uh,
I don't care about DC either right now until their universe starts building properly.
Well, yeah,
We're
they
gonna get
still
to-
need Wonder Woman.
We'll see.
I don't know
We'll
if Gal
see.
Gadot's coming back as Wonder Woman.
No,
They're
she's
gonna have
not.
No.
She's not coming back.
Oh.
It will be new.
Ooh.
It's
I
all
will
new
say,
people.
if DC can build
Ooh,
a
okay.
proper universe, when I'm 40 years old in another however many years, that's a while for the record. There's gonna be a if they do it right, if they do everything right, they could do the multiverse too, but do it properly with strictly Justice League movies, man.
All right.
Yeah,
Imagine-
I'm telling you, the thing that you guys,
Imagine just picture 10 years from now, and DC's world universe is so well done, and then we get Justice League, but like expanded with multiverse, and they do
Okay.
things like they could do things so well. Like, bro, Henry Cavill back as Superman 10 years later.
You know, I
Sure.
called that. I literally am going to call it right now. I think they will bring him back in some way, one way or
Right,
another.
you guys,
Whoa,
Red
right.
Side makes a great point here. For those who are really big DC fans, like I am, and a lot of other people, when they do Crisis,
Only if they
I'm
do
sorry,
everything.
Russo Brothers. I'm sorry, Kevin Feige. We're not going to give two shits about Infinity War and Endgame anymore. Once they
Oh,
do
yeah.
Crisis,
Oh yeah, Crisis
Yeah.
is gonna- bro, when we
It's
get
all
Crisis,
done
yeah.
correctly and
Oh, my
properly,
God.
and all
Yeah.
the scripts are solid. The build up is solid, and they do everything right, and they use Darkseid properly and everything. Like the stuff they do
Yeah.
would be incredible.
Again,
I'm
you're
sad-
gonna
I'm
get
still-
you're gonna need to
regardless
get
of the
those
filled
directors.
regardless
Yeah,
of the filled
definitely.
universe, I'm still sad I didn't get to see more Darkseid.
well,
It
yeah, I
was
think
cool.
the thing that's
Yeah, he
really
was
gonna
pretty cool.
work. I think the thing that's really going to work in their favor, which I think DC understands way more than Marvel does right now, is Kevin Feige just announces shit to announce shit. James Gunn, he won't cast a single person until a script for a movie or show is done.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's just amazing. Just the
Yeah.
fact that he's like, we need a story, we need a plan before we do anything.
Yes.
Kevin Feige's like, oh, that's a really good idea.
That's
we're
because
doing
he worked
Iron
for
Man
Marvel
movies.
for
Nope.
so long.
Not-
He
Yeah,
worked for
Yeah,
Marvel.
he's-
He worked for Marvel for almost 10 years.
Yeah,
He even
yeah,
got
he's a figurehead.
fired.
And it's common
Like,
sense to like
so
do.
he gets it. He gets. Don't get me wrong. The Suicide Squad, some people don't like, but it was better than Suicide Squad 2016.
Yeah, it was bad.
It is.
I will say that.
And
I had no
I've heard
problems with the
nothing-
James
I've
Gunn
never heard
Suicide Squad.
anything negative about Peacemaker, and there's people who don't really like John Cena as an actor and say that
I-
that's his character.
Yeah.
That's his character. Like, it just works. It just works for
well,
John Cena.
Yeah, I don't know. He's in the same place with Dwayne Johnson. A lot of people don't like Dwayne Johnson either. But it's like he gets
yeah,
he gets into
Cena's
movies as
better.
well.
The wrestler
better
that's really
actor.
come around with his acting is Batista. Batista's
Yes.
really like
He has a lot of range.
he's got range.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
for real.
Yep.
And it's good to see that he's not just doing the typical muscular.
Well, he didn't want to. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why his
That's why he
contract in
was waiting.
WWE, he had to fight to get out of WWE because Vince McMahon was an idiot. He still is, probably to this day. That's why he's no longer with the company. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Wrestling's getting better. Without him.
Good.
But he had to. That's why I became a fan again, because Triple H being in charge and Vince is
I might actually start watching it again. Yeah,
You kidding me? Triple X?
Triple H, yeah, Triple H, yeah.
Triple H.
Yeah, he's in charge of WWE. Yeah.
He's in charge.
You gotta be kidding me! Oh my god! Wait, have I got to write the Undertaker's coming back?
Undertaker's part of the company, but he's not wrestling anymore.
He's retired.
So, because I saw him, I actually saw like
Yeah, 'cause
pictures
he's
of it.
still active. He's still active with them. Like, he came out with his motorcycle on the Netflix premiere Raw, and he was at WrestleMania last year and stuff. But he's not wrestling.
Wait, is that the reason why they did that documentary of Vince McMahon? There's like
they actually filmed that documentary before the cases came out for Vince. Before he left
Okay.
before he shut down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was curious, but I was like, what the heck is going on with Vince McMahon? Why is everyone talking about this guy? He's got some weird fetishes and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that crap?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, man. Holy shit. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think it's just like it's just really crazy when you think of like all
Yeah.
the like stuff that like, especially when James Gunn first started working on like you have Peacemaker and you have like the Suicide Squad. Those movies were like for what they were, and that show was great for what they were working on. But I think like when they started really deciding that James Gunn was going to be the guy that was going to.
You know what? You know what's funny? James Gunn, he made Batista do great as Drax. He made John Cena do great as Peacemaker. You know what's funny? If he would have directed Black Adam, I bet The Rock.
I knew you were going to go there. I knew you were going to go there. I knew it was just too easy because let's face it. The only good thing was the post credits. Let's face it. You knew he was coming.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, I liked it when I first seen it, and after I seen it a few times, I was like, eh. Yeah.
No, but watch it with the crowd reactions. Watch it with the audience reactions. There's like a YouTube of it, and it's like everyone's just like really pumped up, and there's oh my god, it went nowhere.
Yeah, Henry's back. Oh wait, he's not because we're canceling.
Man.
Bro, Henry
this guy's never going to get a break, man.
Like Superman versus Black Adam, man, that would have been so cool to see.
But, I mean, what was it? They screwed him over with Superman. They messed him over with what was it? The Space Marine thing. And
he's good with Warhammer. Warhammer, he's good.
What's your
well, yeah, now it is. But there was a lot of what was it? There was like a lot of drama over the what was it? Like what was it? There's a certain Witcher.
Yeah, that was where the drama happened.
Yeah,
that was the right. Yeah, with Witcher, that was the writers. Okay, they were just like freaking jerks. You know, they were just like taking him for a ride. I don't even get me started with Witcher Origins. You know, they thought they could do it without him. That's why they milked the third season, and then basically swapped him over with what was it? Chris Hemsworth's brother.
Yeah, and now there's so now Retrolab's asking us a question about the Rocksteady leak for Batman Beyond or Batman trilogy. Apparently,
if Rocksteady can do a Batman Beyond game, it needs to happen. If we can't get a movie, we need.
I think Rocksteady is done, dude. I mean, after everything with like Suicide Squad, they need complete reform. I think if I've got it right, didn't the CEO of Warner Brothers just like step away from the gaming industry of Warner Brothers? He doesn't want anything to do with it. Yeah. He literally walked away. So I just don't personally see a future for Rocksteady because they kind of blew it with the Suicide Squad really badly, and I don't have any. I don't feel bad for them at all. They did this to themselves. Okay, they wanted to have a live service, and now they have to make their bed. They've already made their bed. Now they got to sleep on it. You know.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, no, I don't like leaks in general because I think it's a disgrace. I think that they should wait until. I think that every fan should be made to wait until the story gets released on the trailer, and that way it gives the hype that it deserves. You know, fans are more invested in it. And
I feel this is something that would just basically
expect disappointment, and you won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
Well, those days are over. I mean, you're talking about the days of E3. E3 came to its end in 2018. You know, I effectively think that put a huge impact on gaming itself because a lot of people look forward to games, you know. But when you don't have an E3, I hate to say it, but E3 was quite a big deal when it shut down. I mean, look at it now. Look at it. This is the exact result of it.
Stuff are just not.
It's just not the same.
When they announced Mortal Kombat, when they announced, I don't know, Uncharted, all these other games, like, bro, everybody was hyped. It was like, yeah, we can't wait to get the next game. Now it's like, well, since there's no event for the big games coming out, it's like everybody's doing their own thing. It's like, well, okay, but if there's something we don't like and we express that in a good way, it's like, well, you can't expect us to be happy because you're taking away the big thing that we all love about the game, video games. Like and E3 wasn't even just a thing to like go there for the game. People generally used to go there to connect.
Oh
like, like,
I've been there.
That social aspect of it, like you know what I mean. So it's like
and live streaming doesn't cut it. It's just not the same because it's basically very isolated, and it's just like I mean, COVID didn't help. I mean, with the lockdowns and everything, that was just like the beginning, and then that became the norm, and now everyone's just like it's just there's just no energy there anymore. I mean, dude, I'll give you a perfect example. I mean, this is back when Ubisoft used to have their singing band. You remember? Every time they would used to begin their Ubisoft show, they would have, the guys dancing around and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, that was great. I mean, it was cringy, but it was great. I mean, they just, like, that was the level of, like, rehearsal. I mean, those guys, let's face it, they're all out of a job right now. I mean, that's the sad part about it. I mean, you got all the camera people and everything like that. I mean, I had the discussion about, like, what was it, Eurogamer trying to be, is it Eurogamer or is it the Game Awards? They're trying to be the new E3 now. It's just like, yeah, okay.
It's just anything to do with Jeff Keighley, really. He's got Summer Game Fest.
Retro wants to take on Marvel Rivals layoffs.
I didn't know they even did layoffs.
Yeah, they did. NetEase, the whole entire team, including the director, they just got laid off. They got fired. Let's stop with the subtle words here. They got fired. Okay, someone fired them. They got the hi-fi rush treatment. Because like you remember like how
the downhill of Marvel Rivals begins.
We don't know that yet. We don't know that. Maybe they're getting someone better than them. Maybe it's because they're Chinese and there might be something going on there, like the Chinese-American relationships. There could be all kinds of things. It could be political. It could not be political. We have no idea. I mean, if you're going to get rid of the whole entire team, what are they going to replace it with Americans?
Yeah, I don't get their way of thinking. Like, why have the layoffs at all?
Yeah. Well, there was an agenda behind it. That's the thing, Melissa. There's a strong agenda. I mean, if you're aggressively getting rid of the whole entire team, there's a reason behind it. There's no question about it. It's just that someone eventually is going to talk about it. Someone will eventually, I don't know, what is it, like someone from, if they're still around. What's that guy? The guy at Kotaku. He basically gets like all of the inside the talk. What's his name again? The games journalist, there's like a lot of drama around him. What's his name? I don't even know if Kotaku's still around anymore, but yeah, it's
I'm trying to think.
The guy I'm talking about. He's like a journalist, and he basically would like be the first one to get like any kind of like interviews with like what's going on over there. He's pretty like the first guy that would put it up on X or anything, or you'd like make some kind of money and just like have it like hey, this is a premium show where I basically talk about the people who were fired from NetEase and all of that. So yeah, I personally think there's going to be a lot of wannabe games journalists that are going to look into that and then say, yeah, I know the reason.
They might not even get the truth from that.
No, exactly.
It's propaganda, innit? That's just how it is, really. Like, they might not this is what they said the director said, but then it's like,
Retron wants to know, Coyote, which video games you're interested in this year.
Oh wow. Okay. This year, anything that's in relation to the Nintendo Switch 2 right now, I would say is probably Mario Kart 2. I'm hoping that there's probably going to be a new Splatoon game, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Splatoon 4 will probably be.
I'm going to put myself on mute for a few minutes. I'll be back in.
Yeah, no worries, Melissa. No worries. Yeah, my thoughts so far right now is obviously it's more than likely concentrated around. Well, I guess the easiest one would be GTA 6, but the thing is that it's not on PC, and I have been wondering just exactly how far they would actually go to port it onto other console devices.
So you're telling me you got $100 to spend on that? Go ahead.
Look, I'm telling you right now, I can go to a place and pretty like say, look, come on, man, I've known you for so long. Like a typical GameStop. Come on, man, just do me a break. You know what I mean? It's just like sweet talk them into just like lowering it down to about maybe, I don't know, $50 or something like that. But I'm pretty sure there'll be like places like, if GameStop is still around, by the way. I mean, geez, like when I was living in Tampa, there was like 2 GameStops around where I was. I don't think they're there anymore, but there you go. But yeah, to answer the guy's question, yeah, I would say it's probably, I was going to say Ghost of Yotai, but there's a lot of drama behind that as well.
Yeah, bro. Honestly,
That's the thing.
You know what it is? I'm getting sick and tired of this whole era about like, oh, why is it a woman? Because that's what it's about. That's what the drama is about. It's about
It's a little bit more than that. I think it's mainly because a lot of people are starting to find out that it originally was supposed to be a straight out sequel of the first one.
Yeah.
And they intentionally chose to go down this route, and there's no turning back now. So it's now an anthology game. So
Which I kind of get because
you know what I can't understand about that. So like AJ was in here in our stream earlier, right?
Yeah.
What I can't understand is every narrative now is either you're a woman, you're black,
or you're black, yeah,
or you're a black lesbian woman, whatever it is. It's like this narrative is just that whole party of like how the LG community has just ruined everything is ridiculous.
Well, you only need to look at, let's say, Ubisoft. They're a perfect example. It's full of activists. Hold up. That's not them. That's BioWare and Ubisoft as well. Both of those studios have a very bad case of morale. Okay, working morale is just out of, and that's the key thing here, Joe. Right, working morale. If it's just like people aren't comfortable with their lives in general, then they shouldn't be making games. I mean, even Asmongold was talking about this as well when I was actually watching his stream, and he basically effectively stated that that if you basically like have issues like mental issues, what are the chances of that actually being put into the game?
That is a good point, as well as the fact that gaming industries, companies that have people developing their games, they have to treat them good. And we know dang well some of these companies do not treat their employees good.
Yeah, no,
well, I don't think they care. I think there's a huge neglect from the people from the higher up. They basically have what is called the upward failure effect. Yeah. The upward failure effect is that if they have a problem, if the CEOs lose money, they fire people. Then they basically work around how to basically lower, the spending for the next project whatsoever.
I mean, the whole activist get in the middle of everything is just it's so bad because it's ruining so many narratives and just I don't even get it anymore. It makes
I'll tell you why. Because people don't have any experience. People don't go into wars anymore. People don't have that kind of rough experience in life. A lot of people, when they are making these stories, I hate to say it, but they are boring people. They are boring people, and that's the biggest problem. They need to have people who, I'm not saying on the level of Tolkien, but at least have that kind of understanding of people, people that that they talk to. I mean, me personally, I go into a cafe, I talk to so many people, and I could write a story about how one guy, how he eats his meal and how he cuts his egg and everything. I could literally make a story about that. It could just be one entire story about that alone. I mean, I'll give another perfect example. I mean, for me, if there was someone from, I don't know, the generic average guy that basically is just making a game just for the sake of another paycheck. Let's say if it was a generic mediocre person from Ubisoft, for instance, they were told to make a game about war. Okay, the first thing they would be thinking about is that, okay, so I have to make it. Okay, so he's holding a machine gun, and he's got army boots, he's wearing the army outfit, and he has to fight bad people, and that's it. That's their mindset. Mine, it would be about probably someone that wasn't part of the army, and it was about possibly clothes that were probably out in the rain, and it was about a story about how he was going to get new clothes. That is my story. And it's got nothing to do about war. That is part of a bigger story. You see, this is the mindset. People have a one-dimension thinking of things, But when you write, you start to get a better understanding of architecture. I've read a lot of Stephen King's books, and they're better than the movies, by the way. But I as much as I don't like his politics, but I do respect him as a writer. I really do. He's probably one of the greatest writers out there. And I do encourage anyone who wants to get into making stories for Stephen King could have made some damn good freaking story or scripts for video games. He doesn't. He chooses not to because he's old fashioned, But he's got some great documentaries as well. Eh?
No, I don't blame him, to be honest. I really don't.
Well, yeah, right now, yeah, absolutely. I mean, look what they did to Amy Hennig. I mean, she's like working with a crew that are working on the game Captain America with Black Panther, which looks pretty good, by the way.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
My only problem with that game is we're seeing a lot of the cut scenes. When are we going to see
agree,
gameplay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think the gameplay is probably still in its alpha or post-alpha stages.
Yeah.
Likely chances are it's in the same league as Wolverine, the Insomniac game, which also got leaked, by the way. I don't know if you heard about the huge leak that happened.
I didn't see anything about it. I saw them. I saw the leaks. I've seen one.
Oh my god. What was it, like 10 terabytes? It was 10 terabytes, right? Jesus.
But yeah,
my god, man. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty the biggest leak ever. Welcome back. But yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
Despite it's not finished, the combat does look fun. Like it does, like whatever's been done on the game looks pretty good. Like I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe. I wanted to ask you something. What time are you going to do the Daredevil stream with?
Probably tomorrow because I gotta go to bed soon. I gotta get up at 3 a.m. and go to work tomorrow.
No. Well, I mean, like, what time tomorrow?
Probably at some point after my nap. I don't know. I don't have it timed out yet. I take it every day, day at a time. I just need to make it through a day of work and then figure out how the whole day goes.
I agree. How are you feeling?
I'm still there.
Hello? How are you feeling?
I'm here.
You're feeling better?
I'm getting there. I'm still in between. I'm just gonna have to take some NyQuil pretty soon and knock out and just kind of hope that getting up at 3 a.m. I'll feel a little better, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, that's good. At least you're going back to work tomorrow. At least you're well enough to go back to work tomorrow.
I do have to go back to work tomorrow. I work at 3 a.m. That's why I got to go to bed soon. So
oh my god! You do night shifts?
No, morning. I work in the morning and then I come home at lunchtime.
Wait, so
that's what I mean.
It's 3 a.m.
At least you're well enough to go to work.
Right now it's 8 a.m. where I'm at, or not 8 a.m. It's 8 p.m. at my time zone right now. So I gotta go. I'll go to bed at like 9 or 10, and then I'll wake up at 3, and then work till lunchtime tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah. What is the question?
That's what I'm saying. At least you're going to be well enough to go to work tomorrow. And do you still want to?
Yeah.
And you still want to do our phone call tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, we should be able to make it work tomorrow.
Oh, where should he start with FF7? Original.
Yeah,
and then remake. That way you understand everything better.
Yeah.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best way to go with it anyway.
Oh, that's good to hear.
I was gonna be getting off anyway. I gotta go shower and relax.
Yeah, we're all gonna get off in a little bit anyway. We're all ready for bed, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I will also add, as we get closer to concluding here, I personally do believe that the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be the winner of the console generation. And I said it last year as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Because I believe personally that people still want to have physical ownership of their video games, and Nintendo's been doing that since the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, honestly.
They've been doing it for years. I mean, they're the only ones now. And I just hope they don't fall into the same category as what Sony and Xbox has been doing. And it's kind of funny thinking how Sony has like completely forgotten about the days of DRM when they were basically parading around it and making fun out of Xbox saying, hey, this is how you show a game. Maybe they need to be reminded of that because I think they've completely forgotten exactly the reason why most people bought a PlayStation.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
Oh, all right.
Well, it
Oh, no,
probably
it's
not
okay.
happen in a minute. It happened.
I'd love to keep going, but I think I should get off. Jeez, I'm getting tired.
Joe, I wanted to ask
Yeah,
you.
no
So,
worries.
are you still?
All right, D-Man.
I was
Joe, I
shower
wanted
anyways.
to ask you just before we go. I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask you, Joe. Are you still on for the phone call tomorrow night?
Yeah,
Talk
I
about
said
her.
yes. I said yes before you dropped out, but maybe you didn't hear me.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I don't know why I dropped out.
Yeah, that's true, Jennifer. Retrolad, yeah, I mean it just depends, Retrolad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be going midnight release for the Switch 2 as soon as I can pre-order it. That game's
Yeah, good luck with that. It'll probably be already
Yeah.
scalped. I'm not trying to put you down, but I'm just keeping it real, dude.
It's gonna be worse than getting a PS5 with this new Switch.
I don't think it'll be as bad as that. I think they are prepared. I think they are prepared. I'm just making a joke out of it, but I don't think it would be as bad as what happened in 2020. I mean, there was a lot of things there. I mean, there was a lot of stakes. Okay, I mean, they had the lockdowns.
Yeah.
A lot of people were fully focused on like indoor activities. So
Yeah.
I think personally that now everybody's like back to normal. And you know, this is like 5 years later. I personally do believe that. Well, first of all, you got to remember that the Nintendo Switch 2 was originally supposed to be released last year. They delayed it to this year. So, and the reason why they did that, by the way, was because they wanted to build up on stock because they didn't want to deal with the scalpers. You know, that was the real reason. So, I personally do believe that this is to in effect be an anti-scalping move, maybe, but only time will tell, you know. So
Yeah.
But from everything I've seen with the Switch 2, I think the features look great. There's also a rumored feature. I saw the leaks on X. Apparently, there's a DS feature, like a Nintendo DS feature, where you can add another flip on it, so it opens up like a flip. There's an extra screen, basically. Boy, if that is true. Also,
That's
there's a
true.
webcam
That's
for it.
Wow.
I'll tell you, this is true, dude. Then that basically means that not only is Nintendo opening up with the Nintendo online services, because as you well know, you cannot talk to anybody if you have a friend there. And
you have to get an app.
yeah, so I think they're maybe possibly opening up for more social activities, and they're less afraid to like open up because, you know, if you're getting more people coming in into this ecosystem, you might want to upgrade your online systems now, you know, Nintendo, and stop having it basic. I mean, good God, you'd think they would have had more wallpapers instead of like the white and black wallpaper that they had. That's all they had. The two themes that they had for the whole entire generation. I was waiting for it. You know, I would have paid money. I would have paid money for a wallpaper. That's it. They didn't even have it in the eShop. And that eShop is complete and utter, absolute garbage.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Man, I could talk about this for a while. I'm gonna,
Yeah.
I gotta go take a shower.
Yeah, we gotta jump on.
I had a really listen, Joe. Everybody, I just want to let you know I had a really great time on this stream. I got to talk about things that I don't normally get to talk about.
That's great.
That's good.
That's great. I'm happy for that.
You guys
great.
And just so you guys, just so you guys know, anytime you guys have an open space available for me on here, I'd love to join you guys.
Oh, yeah, anytime. Yeah, anytime.
I love talking to you guys. I love hearing you guys' perspective. And we talked about Marvel. We talked about DC.
We talked about a lot of things.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of things, and it's things I don't normally talk about on other things, and it was really great. And I hope I said some. I know you guys said a lot of interesting stuff that I found very interesting and phenomenal. Did I say anything that was interesting at all? on any of those
Well,
topics?
yeah, your concern in regards to Netflix and the services and its current predicament in relation to all of the current service, which relates to their common IPs, such as Cobra Kai and Stranger Things, which you specifically wanted to see, or at least were curious to see if there would actually be any spin-offs in relation to those IPs. I guess it's just a question of time if they would actually go around that area. But you got to remember, Netflix has been around for a very long time. They've already played this game,
It's like what the
you
late
know.
90s,
So
isn't it?
you know exactly. So I think that kind of era would have probably been around, maybe possibly during 2015, possibly. It really does depend if their mindset is at that point. As mentioned before, I don't think it is because of all of the cancellations of some of the shows. And the reason why they're doing that is because they don't want to pay for the license of those TV shows. They would just find it cheaper just to make their own.
And the thing is, people want to watch it as well. Like they know people want to watch these shows as well. Like,
Yeah,
so they
well,
just choose it,
then they should. Then Netflix should have taken a lesson from Spotify because their subscription service is absolutely great. That's exactly what a subscription service should be. Obviously, they don't want to do that though. Their mindset is for like live streaming shows. I mean, effectively, what Netflix is doing is basically reverting back into a cable station. That's all they're doing. You know?
Oh God! Why?
Not to mention
why
this.
is it gonna be one of those nights? I just read something that I'm gonna have to record a video about tomorrow. That's just ridiculous.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was laughing because we were talking about this community and woman and all the stuff that happens with it, and there's some new backlash going on between.
Oh my God! So it's breaking right now. It's breaking news.
Breaking news: the She-Hulk actor
Yeah.
is firing at Ryan Reynolds right
To
now.
end on the note, on the note, because I know you guys want to go. I mean, did I say anything interesting on Marvel or Spider-Man or?
Man,
any of
you're
this?
great thoughts.
Of course.
To end on, and to also end on that note, if the big three are confident that they're going to that they're going to do spin-offs, then that's good enough for me. And they do sound confident. I don't know about you guys.
I
mean, what do you think, Joe? Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, it's possible.
No, I said if the big three are as confident as they sound are as confident as they are that we're going to get spin-offs and prequels, then that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
What about you?
I agree. I think they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen a show ended where like ending of it is so clear. Like usually when a show ends, you have it open ended and you're like, oh, maybe something gets spin off from here. Maybe we have a backdoor pilot, maybe we do things. But they did such a brilliant job of like really, and Chris can contribute to this, really painting the dotted line of like, oh yeah, this we can go this direction. Oh, we turn over here. Okay, we can go this direction. That makes sense. And it's like all roads kind of lead the same path. It just depends which direction we go first.
So you think that they closed it, but they also left it open too?
Well, yeah, they had multiple endings.
Especially with like the younger generation as well, so that means like, room for the show to like grow a bit more for the younger generation.
All right,
that's what I mean.
I'm getting off, guys.
All right, dude. All right, bye, D-Man.
Yeah, take it easy.
That's what I agree to. Like, yeah, bye, D-Man. That's what I agree to. I think that I feel like they left it so open, like with Sam going to Okinawa.
Yeah.
Like they definitely. I mean, this is my feeling that they left it open for a spinoff for her to be in Okinawa, even if it's just her own spinoff. Like no, like not with Miguel. I feel, and with Tori and Robbie, them doing karate all over the world, and definitely with Axel and the Iron Dragons, they left the door open.
Well, yeah, there's a lot open. There's a lot of stuff that they can do. And
It does sound like she wants, from how she's describing it, she wants an expansion on the world itself.
Yeah.
Things that
right
have
now,
been undiscovered yet.
Wait, what?
Right now,
I was just going to
fans
say that
of-
the expansion of the world is probably what you're after, you know, like where, you know, they probably like don't go, you know, they don't go into, oh my God, I'm so tired today, man. They don't go into like familiar places. They go into places where, you know, it's out of their comfort zone. And it's pretty helpful for more world building in general, you know?
Hmm.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah, and that's what I think.
Right now, in terms of like connected like universes, they
Yeah.
really have built something that is really unique because it doesn't have to go like in the same direction that some of these other connected universes are. You can make something that's totally standalone, but just knowing that it's completely a part of the same world, like knowing that Mr. Miyagi existed and he trained this character, and then there's all the other people, and even without the lightsabers. Oh, hold up! I gotta take care of this stupid person again.
The most important thing, Melissa, is that if the pacing's good and the direction of the narrative is good and it has the same aesthetic as, you know, the original shows such as Cobra Kai and Stranger Things, then I don't see why it shouldn't be a problem. The only problem
that's the thing, and I think that if you watch Cobra Kai and Stranger Things, the pacing is good. You know?
Oh, you need to move it closer. It's as close.
Yeah,
to
so that's what I say. I don't think it is a problem. I don't think it will be a problem. I know I don't think it will be.
On the edge of everything.
I think probably within the next 2 years we'll probably be getting like confirmation on a spinoff or a prequel.
Yeah.
Sure, but remember, Melissa, there have been spin-offs before. You only need to look at Witcher Origins. That's a perfect example of one that didn't do so well.
Yeah, but like I said, with the big three in the big three's hands, though, I have no, you know, they've proven that the Miyagi verse is safe in their hands. That's why they didn't do a season 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. I feel like season 7 would have just dragged it out that even more.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's,
So like they've proven that this is not a cash grab for them. Netflix.
Yeah. 100%.
Netflix treats it as a cash grab. They don't. That's why they were the ones that decided to end it at season 6.
Yeah, obviously Netflix can see it as a cash grab.
And that right there proves that they hold the Karate Kid universe within their hearts, and it's in good hands.
Yeah, it's done with passion and it has soul. It has a soul, and it was done with love because a lot of the people came back, especially the villains as well. Yeah,
you can feel that in that show, and that's why I'm thinking it's not going to be as big of a problem as a lot of people think.
It's a question of whether or not Netflix really cares, though. You know, it really does come down to that.
They're gonna care. I think they're gonna care when Stranger Things ends. I think they're gonna care.
I agree.
Oh, 100%. That's Stranger Things. If they mess up with Stranger Things, the people will not look at them the same. Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well,
what I'm saying is like they're gonna realize how much both Cobra Kai and Stranger Things carried them.
Yeah.
It's likely they probably would change their mind and to say, "Hey, Dunham Brothers, could you possibly do another, season?" I don't know about the actors, but they're gonna have to pay them a lot more money for a 6th season of Stranger Things. I can see it happening, and it goes into the 90s or something, and then they just like work around on that because there's a lot that they could do. I could see possibly spin-offs for Cobra Kai, but spin-offs for Stranger Things. That could dilate. It could make it worse.
That's the problem. It, you know, I mean, depending on how they end it. But like I said, it just depends on the ending. And like I said, they closed it where for Cobra Kai, they closed it enough where they left it open enough where these characters are going in different directions where you could do a spin-off with them, and it could work, and it would work.
Yeah.
Too.
Would you say the spin-off would be like the equivalent of something like because when I think of the spin-off for Cobra Kai, I'm thinking about what was that spin-off I say spin-off. There was something they did right after The Boys. And what was it called again? They had like these mutants.
I know what you're talking about. What's it called?
You know the one I mean. I forgot the name.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, but I could see a spinoff like in Okinawa. Like I feel like they've teased Miyagi so much in the
Oh
show,
yeah, 100%. I think
and
we
the
Oh
fact
yeah,
that
what am
Sam
I
is
talking about?
going
Yeah,
to
that's right.
Okinawa,
They
the
brought
fact that
in
Sam is going,
Jackie Chan, didn't
yeah, and the fact that Sam is going to Okinawa, like
Yeah.
it's, I feel like they subtly set something up there, you know?
they? Yeah. I see what you mean. They're effectively building up, like a special arc, or effectively, like, more of the characters that are probably going to be introduced in that area as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time they
Yeah.
went to Okinawa, wasn't it like?
Gen V? Is it Gen V, Tony? Gen V?
Yeah.
That's the boys.
Yeah. I think it wasn't Gen Z. It was just. Oh,
Gen V.
wow.
Gen V. I think it's Gen V. I think it is.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I think that is absolutely right. I think that, yeah,
Yeah.
it was after season 2, wasn't it?
Yeah. I haven't even checked it out like that. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, the only reason why I brought that up, Gen V, was that that effectively is in connection to The Boys season 2. So the only way that the mindset of Netflix is that if there's a spinoff, it still has to connect with the original show somehow. It has to have some kind of recognition.
And
Because
it will,
yeah.
you know, and it will, because if you bring characters because they've mentioned Miyagi so many times in the show, like he's like the
Yeah, I can
spirit
only
of it.
imagine. Yeah.
And like Samantha is going to Okinawa, so that leaves it wide open. And like, and here's the thing: if Chosen already mentioned having a dojo in season 3, in Cobra Kai, so that leaves it open for her to like maybe own a dojo or train a dojo, maybe bring some of the Cobra Kai that she's learned into that dojo.
Yeah.
And
I think as well, like to add to that, it's like there's a lot of history when it comes to Mr. Miyagi anyway. So like the things like the Sakai, his training, like his master, like me and Joe were talking about, saying like, yeah, they could actually go into like his backstory of like the Sakai because obviously he killed somebody.
And they didn't address that in the
they didn't
really
address
that in the part 3, so they're leaving that open for a reason. I mean, and McKenna. I mean, yeah. If Karate Kid Legend, if considering how well they did with part 3, and by leaving hey Retro Lad, and depends on how well Karate Kid Legends does, then and if Ralph's in it, and if Ralph's in
He's still awake,
then you know it's gonna be good. Then you know it's going to be good. Then I could see like maybe a spinoff happening within a couple of years.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. What would you assume that? Well, this is the thing. This is quite a corporate question. What would you assume the budget would be for a spinoff?
Well, the good advantage of Cobra Kai is that unlike Stranger Things, you don't need a huge budget. Because
what is the current budget of Cobra Kai so far right now? It's about maybe like per episode.
What it's smaller than like say Stranger Things because they don't do CGI very often.
Well, yeah.
Guys, hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, I can hear.
That's good.
I'd have to look it up to know the exact number.
Yeah, I see. I didn't want to put you on the spot, Joe, because I don't know either. So the only reason why I asked the question is because if you're going to make a spin-off, it's probably going to be either roughly the same or slightly less. I don't think they would pretty risk putting the same amount on a successful show as opposed to something that is still within a gamble of whether it would actually be successful to the viewers. Because, the viewers, they need to like be recognized with something that is still, affiliated with, or at least in this case, associated with Cobra Kai. So in the industry, they would call this a risk. Me, I'm for it, but knowing how stubborn, and they do this all the time. They say, "Well, we can't do this. We can't do this." The spin-off because you didn't watch this movie, so they go by the numbers. It's this statistical aspect.
God, he's
That's a
so
good-
funny. He's so funny.
That's a good choice, Jennifer. I'll be doing videos about.
Yo.
Yeah, and Joe, you know what? You should do a video covering covering Q&A. What they
Yeah,
said.
I was gonna do one. I picked apart that Q&A and I found some things that were interesting, but overall, I feel like they kind of just talked in that Q&A like they still don't know.
Were any of the questions that I asked that got answered? Did you find interesting or?
Yeah, I mean they're about what I.
They were
expected.
great questions.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. This podcast made me laugh, man. Having Kelty on, man.
Yeah.
I was in stitches, man.
I was trying to ask him about Miguel, but he didn't.
Glad you enjoyed yourself.
Kai was
Yeah.
laughing. Kai was laughing. Kai couldn't stop laughing.
I was trying
I
to
thought
ask
she was
him
in
about
bed by
Miguel,
now.
but he didn't answer me.
Yeah, I wonder why.
I don't know.
Kai's asleep now, though.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't hear what he said.
I think it's time for everyone to go.
What did you?
I have to get up in a few hours. I'm ready.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm just curious. What did you just say earlier, Melissa? I didn't hear what you say earlier.
Oh no, I said I asked a question about Miguel, but he didn't answer. I asked him what my question was. I said I asked if he could if his story was continuing in the future and or something like that, and he didn't answer. He answered my Sam question about her story about her story continuing, and
Yeah.
right, Joe. Remember he answered about her story continuing, right?
Yeah.
And he said that and he answered the way he answered was pretty interesting. He said that while Sam's under 18 karate tournament days were over, it doesn't mean that her karate days are over.
True.
So
Sure.
what do you guys take on that answer?
Well, I mean, it could go either way, couldn't it? I mean, it's like a very what's the word I'm looking for? A very elusive question, because it's supposed to keep you thinking, right? So
Yep.
Yeah, and somebody else asked something similar to that about Sam winning a tournament. Because the way he worded it, he said Sam's under 18 karate days, all Valley karate days are over, but that tournament days are over. But that doesn't mean that her tournament days are over, because as we learned with the Sekai Tekai, there are other tournaments out there.
Yeah, they don't look,
absolutely.
they just don't look like teenagers no more.
And a fan asked a very similar question. She said while she was happy that Tori had won the tournament, she's hoping that in the future that Sam at least gets one tournament win in her lifetime. And the way Hayden responded, he said maybe she might.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, true. Well, she's going to be in Okinawa for some time, innit? So she might get there. She could come back. But it just depends on how they do it.
And in the Miyagi Kai first podcast, Podverse, right, Joe, we're going to be discussing also stories that we could come up with.
Yeah, I'll be coming up with a big video. I'll be coming up with a big video tomorrow about that stuff. But now, unfortunately, I have to focus my energy on before I go to bed, writing a script with this stupid Antiana, whatever her name is, who plays She-Hulk, is doing stupid shit again. So I'm not happy about that.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Do you think She-Hulk would be in any Fantastic Four movie?
No.
At this point, I don't want to see her right
They need to write that character off and never
She
appear
was
in
a
anything
Fantastic
ever
Four
again.
member. She was the 5th member of the Fantastic Four
Yeah.
in the comics.
She'll be in
Yeah.
Secret
And she
Wars.
was good, but I don't know what they're doing with her. Honestly. What
Well,
they need to do anyway. So
She
I don't
exists.
Yeah.
They can't like put her back in the box. She exists. She's here, and I personally think that she should be more utilized in the Fantastic Four way, because at least the way I read it in the comics, she was the 5th member, and I
Well,
think
you do know that you know that they're trying to erase her, right? So like,
I know they are. They did it very well. They replaced her with Deadpool.
She'll be in Secret Wars, I think.
they're trying to erase her completely. She's now coming at Ryan Reynolds right now, saying that men like Ryan Reynolds' jokes and he's funny, but men don't like women and all this.
No, let's not do this.
Oh. That's horrible. You know, that's typical too.
If they're gonna,
Rachel, it's great. I don't think I've ever seen your face before. That's really cool.
You've never really. She.
No, I don't think I ever really have.
She's got curly hair. She sort of looks Latino-ish as well.
She saw my face. I showed my face last week.
Well, I am.
No, I don't think I did. I don't think I was. I don't think I saw the stream last week. I think I probably popped in for like a few minutes, but then I had to go.
I don't care what her name is, Underground. I'm going to bed, man.
All right, we're done.
Yeah, let's wrap.
All right.
I'll go to sleep, but I'm tired.
I hope that yeah, Retro Lad. I just want to say it's just great to meet you face to face. You know.
Yeah, it's good.
That's all. That's
it's good.
I've known him for over 10 years.
I didn't mean to. I'm really sorry.